Whoops. Late to my own stream by 15 seconds. I didn't even realize I hadn't switched over. Okay, hold on. Let me get the chat popping. I knew this was going to happen someday. I knew that my starting soon screen was just going to end on me. All right. Let's see. All right, we should be good, except for the part where my AC just turned on and it's extremely loud. So I need to go turn that off, actually. I'll be right back, chat. Give me a second. Let's see. Okay, the song is just so nice you have to hear it twice, obviously. Anyways, hello everybody. We are here live on a Thursday, finally. Excited to bring you not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 different topics today. None of which are actually that serious or important, which is why I've just crammed them all into a singular stream. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna have time for like other topics after the fact, because like we got a lot going on, honestly. Someone said you got put on hold. You absolutely got put on hold. What I need to do, honestly, and I keep forgetting to do, I gotta turn the fan on, it's getting hot, is make like a be right back screen, which essentially wouldn't even be that difficult. I can literally just take my starting soon screen and replace the text with BRB and then just make the song loop. But don't know what to tell you. But anyways. Someone said, are the lip piercings new or am I not observant? This is my first week having them, yes. So don't worry, you're not going crazy. I won't gaslight you. Someone said, excuse you, Clav almost died. Yeah, I noticed. That was interesting. Well, we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, if this is your first time joining my stream, hi and welcome. Actually, I'm doing it the same way today. I do it every day, well, I don't stream every day, but every stream, which is the first 30 minutes or so, will just be exactly what you're getting now, a yap session. And then later, after we hit that 30-minute mark, that's when we'll get into today's topic. Usually it's just one topic, but literally, I think every single person I'm talking about today annoys me so much that I don't even feel like talking about them for an entire stream segment. I can't bring myself to do it. I'm not doing a deep dive. I'm sorry. But then I also still feel the need to call the things that they're doing dumb. So I was like, what is my happy medium? And then it hit me. I can just put everything together. So that'll be great. That'll be fantastic. Someone said, I love them. I have the exact opposite, angel fangs. Oh, cool. Is that like paired upper vertical librets? That's a pretty sick look as well. Someone said, can I say that clavicular is a victim of society? Okay. While I don't disagree with you, I'm going to bring up a meme. Actually, this can be the meme of the day, which I said I was going to bring you 2 memes of the day, but that clearly, as you see, is not true. To this idea that clavicular, who, if you don't know who that is, don't worry, we'll get there, unfortunately, is a victim of society, which is not untrue just because he also perpetrates harm in society and victimizes others. I think I would just have to say... I think we all can say. You remember that meme of Victoria Justice saying, I think we all sing. If you don't know what this is referencing, it's actually kind of niche, but I think like it's this video of Ariana Grande, Victoria Justice, and a couple other people talking about singing, and then Victoria just kind of is like, I think we all sing. That's how I feel about clavicular being a victim of society. I think we're all victims of society, yes. Just notice how the vast majority of us don't then go on to become looks maxing influencers, injecting ourselves with drugs and misleading a bunch of other young people while simultaneously aligning ourselves with far-right figures and incels. You know what I mean? So like my sympathy really really only goes so far. That's what I have to say, honestly. So yeah, I think we're all victims of society. But just notice what people do with that information, honestly. Anyways, but we'll get there. In fact, I might even bring this back up. I might even bring this meme back up when I get into when we start recording later, because I think that's gonna make my point, which is like, bro, what do you want me to do with that info? Not you, Clav specifically, because he relies a lot on like telling people like, oh, I'm, neurodivergent, and I'm just like, okay, and what would you like me to do with that info, bro? Someone said, do you plan on getting more piercings? Probably not in this area of my face. If anything, I might do things on the upper ear. Yeah, probably just that. I think I want definitely some upper ear piercings on each one. Maybe a different one on each one for a little bit of asymmetry. And then, will I be happy? Who actually knows? Not me. Let's see. Someone said never an excuse for doing what he's doing. Yeah, definitely not, bro. Definitely not. So I'm going on 60 minutes. We're going to talk about the 60 minutes interview walkout. We're going to talk about the Channel 5 interview walkout, and then him almost dying on a live stream, which is insane. Someone said, what other dummies? The two other people I didn't put in the title because it was getting too long are Sharon Osbourne and some anti-woke YouTube channel that I promise you have literally never heard of. And it's a good thing that you haven't heard of them. But I'm gonna give you a spoiler for the, hold on, don't mind me trying to set up my second monitor while talking. I'm going to give you a spoiler for the things that are coming up. The last person we're talking about, sort of our bonus dummy for the day, has been trying to sue, or no, has been being sued by this journalist, has been losing this lawsuit because he's part of like Gamergate. He was being super misogynist, and this journalist was actually like, wait, I don't think you should be able to do that, hence the lawsuit. And as part of this discovery, his ChatGPT logs got released and are now public, where you can see him prompting ChatGPT to try to get it to label this woman like a prostitute. And then it goes further than that. You can also see him prompting ChatGPT to try to say that DEI is bad and that Microsoft's, well, okay. I don't want to give the whole like thing away, but I was like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? Anyways, what else we got? Someone said, ew, I just got an American Eagle ad. Bro, I literally saw that they're continuing to do like do their Sydney Sweeney campaign even after everybody was like, hey, oh, I thought I had my buttons buttoned wrong. Even after everybody was like, hey, you're leaning into weird white supremacy vibes, and American Eagle's like, we should get her back, bring her back. That was such a great and successful campaign. I'm honestly so done with them and her, honestly, I can't lie. Someone said, Clav said he will stop IRL streaming because he's quitting drugs. Good. I hope he does that. Both of those things. Neither of them is good for him, clearly. Someone said he ain't stopping anything. Yeah, no. Whatever he said and whatever he does are two different things, honestly. Someone said, any mods in the chat? Yes, we always have mods in the chat. Reading. Someone said American Eagle just doubling down. I know, it's cringe. Get rid of the Rage Bait era has got to end, bro. The Rage Bait era, it has to end. Someone said, what's American Eagle? They're like a jeans company or clothing company. I talked about them a little bit in my Euphoria video, I think a few days ago. Was a mess, honestly. A mess. Moving on. Some apparently they made a lot of money. Well, yeah, aligning yourself, unfortunately, with racism or conservatism and all that can be a bag. Yeah, undeniably. But like, not saying you're saying it's a flex, but I'm just also like, that's not even a flex though. Oh, that's why we're talking about Dave Chappelle, by the way. You notice he's in the title because he did the same thing where he started leaning into some really cringe and harmful conservative stuff. And then now that, and he made a bunch of money because of it, and now that it's not cool anymore, he wants to distance himself. And I'm just like, bro, that's not how it works. It truly is not how it works. Someone said, did you see Mom Donnie's new tax on the rich? Yes, I thought that was dope. Actually, I thought that entire video was good. Low-key, whoever is running his social media is actually good at their job, which is insane to say about a politician. I think like because I have brain rot as an influencer, I always watch things with two minds. One just for the info, and then I'm also analyzing this from like a content perspective. And I'm like, this is such a good video. It's so succinct. It like minimizes or like it zooms out when it needs to zoom out, zooms in when it does need to zoom in. It doesn't give like too much information, but it still makes everything very clear. I was like, this is a great video. And the policy makes sense. Like, but the funny thing is like people are still going to get mad at that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and watch the video right now. It's on his YouTube channel. YouTube channel. Okay, let's see. I don't know which channel it's on because he has a couple, I think. Let me see. Okay, so it's not that one. It might be the actual like New York mayoral office channel. Let's see. Hold on, chat. Give me a second. Sorry. I'm not subscribed to every politician or any of them, honestly. Okay, here we go. Look, check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Okay, so it's this latest video right here that says, Happy Tax Day, New York. We're taxing the rich. Which, this is such a funny thumbnail. I'm going to change my PC audio to make sure I can actually hear what's in this joint. Okay, there we go. So it's probably going to be like screwy audio wise, but we can fix it.
When I ran for mayor, I said
Oh no, it's pretty much fine. Testing 1 2 3.
I was going to tax the rich.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, it might be a little quieter than me, but I'll just try to shut up. Let's see. It's only a minute long.
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich. I'm thrilled to announce we've secured a pied-à-terre tax, the first in New York's history. This is an annual fee on luxury properties worth more than $5 million, whose owners do not live full-time in the city. Like for this penthouse, which hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin bought for $238 million. This pied-à-terre...
He's literally not just taxing the rich, taxing rich people who don't even actually live in New York City proper. Like, they're just using New York City to store their money, essentially. Which I'm like, that's a pretty great place to start, because this is a pretty hard thing to disagree with. But obviously people are still going to disagree with it because they're dumb.
Terror tax is specifically designed for the richest of the rich, those who store their wealth in New York City real estate, but who don't actually live here. But even so, they're able to reap the huge financial rewards of owning property in, dare I say, the greatest city in the world. And most of the time, these units are sitting empty, since again,
New Yorkers are so funny. New Yorkers are so funny. Listen, I can't say it is or is not the greatest city or whatever, because I've never been to New York because I'm scared. And I feel like I would be overstimulated, but New Yorkers are so funny. That's all I'm going to say about that. As somebody who's also from one of the other greatest cities in the world, San Antonio.
and they don't actually live here. This is a fundamentally unfair system that hurts working New Yorkers. Now, it's coming to an end. This tax will raise at least $500 million directly for the city. It'll help fund things like free childcare, cleaner streets, and safer neighborhoods. As mayor, I believe everyone has a role to play in contributing to our city, and some a little bit more than others. Happy Tax Day, New York.
Y'all, he did the commentary zoom. Not Zoran Mamdani with the commentary zoom.
And some a little bit more than others.
That's
Happy
funny.
Tax Day, New York.
Anyways, yeah, no, that was like, what is there to be mad at? Literally nobody who is complaining about this actually would qualify for this. And the funny thing is that actually applies to any sort of like billionaire excusing or whatever. The people who are mad about this that are not billionaires will never actually be affected by these policies in the first place. It's truly insane. It's just ridiculous, man. Anyways, it was great though. I appreciated that video and I was like, okay, do what you said you were finna do. Honestly, go for it. It's great. Like, I myself, I'm not really a big fan of like, how to word this. I don't really I'm trying not to be fans of people. So to me, Mamdani is a neutral entity that has said many amazing things that they think are great, and thus far really seems to be trying to do those things. And I don't really know what more I'm looking for. I also don't live in New York City proper, but it's really nice to see things like this happening from my perspective. And someone said Mamdani is my favorite YouTuber. Yeah, it was a good video. You got to give credit where credit's due. But yeah, the policy I'm 100% behind. It makes sense. Kind of crazy that things like this are not already happening. But there's probably so many different ways of taxing the rich that we're just completely unaware of, because we're not even thinking of the being rich as equaling owning properties in New York without even living there, because you're essentially just using it as a like real estate bank. It's annoying. It's cringe. Reading chat. Someone says socialism is my last hope for the city. Yeah, but people will be like, delusional socialist Zoran Mamdani, and they'll mess up his name, which I believe is just so deeply bigoted. But anyways, unless of course I've been mispronouncing his name, but I really try not to. I looked it up, I swear to God. If I just self-reported it, I'm sorry. But anyways, they'll be like, he's driving all the rich people out of New York. Mamdani's ruining the city. Keep doing this to the billionaires and we won't have any billionaires left. And I'm like, oh, thank God. That sounds like an optimal outcome, honestly. But what do I know? I'm not a politician. I'm not an economist. Someone said, I hope I'm not too late. Oh, no, I've only been live for 21 minutes, and we haven't even started talking about anything yet. I've just been ranting and rambling about random things. Reading. Someone said, I'm sad that my second thought was, is he a plan to distract us? Okay, well, look, I can't comment on that with regards to Mamdani specifically, but I will say this in general. You know, honestly, when people are being performative, which I don't think he's being performative, I've seen no evidence of that, but in general, when people are being performative and the performance that they're doing is still the right answer, I don't even complain at this point. If you want to, like, I think of this more so with celebrities than politicians. Like, a lot of celebrities are very vocal right now, and I don't care whether they're being performative or not, as long as the end result of the actions are making things better or raising awareness for things. Do what you gotta do. Honestly, do what you gotta do. Someone said, I forgot this was live and paused it. Yes, I'm very live right now. I've been so live this entire year. I've talked about it before, but it's literally resetting my brain. It's wild, man. It's wild. Someone said thoughts and prayers for all the Americans here. Thoughts and prayers for all the Americans here, and anyone also affected by anything America's doing, which womp womp, that's a lot of people, unfortunately. Someone said, I sincerely don't mind if he's performative as long as he's doing good. Most politicians have to be showmen at this point. That's me. Okay, here's the other thing too, a conversation that I really think that we're not ready for. I know that we're not ready for this. We're all performative. Even in your politics, you're still performative, even if you're correct. If at any point you are signaling to other people your politics, you should be performing this. You should purposely be acting in a way that signals to other people that you are a leftist. I am also performative. I would like you all to know this and think this about me. I think it's more of a neutral thing. The issue is, like, are you performing a lie? If you're performing a lie, that's a problem. If I'm over here talking about all of this, like, I like the socialism vibes and the things that Mamdani's doing, and then I turn around and vote for somebody who is the opposite of him, that's performative. I'm performing a lie, right? But in terms of, like, hey, let's all be really loud. Let's draw attention to the things that we're doing. Let's try to make people look at this. I don't think that's a bad thing, honestly, but that's just me. I mean, polysemy, right? Words mean different things. So performative can to some people mean just an absolute lie, and to other people, you know, it's other things. So I don't know why people are scared of the word performative, because nobody wants to feel like they live in the circus, honestly. But we all clowns over here. We all clowns. Someone said it's performative when it's hollow, otherwise you're doing what you're supposed to. That's how I feel. And I feel like I just give people a chance, honestly. Like, if you reveal yourself to be a fraud, that's when I'm going to be like, okay, you want some fraud timing. But if you're saying all the right things, you know, it is what it is. Okay, chat. I finally had to hide the Katy Perry stan. we let it go on for 25 minutes, but we had to kick them. Shout out the mods. Cause like I think, you know, they were like fine at first. It's okay to hop in my live stream and be like, I don't like you because you said something bad about Katy Perry, who is my god. But at the point where you're in my live chat saying that you hate everybody else in my live chat, obviously you have to be removed. I can't just pretend not to see your messages. So shout out moderation for that one. But Lord, this is so funny, man. This is so funny. Yeah, dude. I swear to God, I can't believe people do this for free. I can't believe people do this for free. Somebody said they didn't even notice them. That is why, high key, that is why I just mostly don't react to people like that in my chat, because I find people don't talk about this enough, in my opinion. But honestly, as a streamer, you have so much control over the vibe, even beyond just your moderators. Like, as somebody who has a chance of platforming which messages, honestly, most of the things that people type in my chat that are absolutely crazy, if the mods don't cast them first, nobody even notices. Or if they do, sometimes there will be a little spat where I will see people in the comments being like, hey, yo, what? Dog, mods. But then it's always taken care of. And yeah, so for the most part, I just totally ignore people. But I'm just like, dog, you have been in my chat for 25 minutes, caping for Katy Perry for free. We can't do it. We can't do it, man. Anyways, did you see that Greta Thunberg? So, this is literally not funny. I think she's amazing. They were trying to label her the second most dangerous anti-Semite in the world, is what is happening apparently, which is literally unhinged. I think that's just such an insane thing to say. Let's see. Here, I'll try to find a video of her reacting to this. Okay, here we go. I pulled this from Twitter. Hopefully this is decent. And you're never going to guess why they said this about her. Or maybe you will guess why they said this about her. I'm probably going to have to turn this one up a little bit. Yeah. Volume boost. Let's see. Okay, this might be a little quiet, but we'll do what we got to do, chat.
Apparently, recently, the Israeli government released a report where they identify me as the second most dangerous anti-Semite in the world, and the reason is for me using terms such as genocide, siege, and mass starvation to talk about the situation in Gaza. Anyway, the genocide continues, and
First of all, anyway, let's go back to talking about what actually matters. Is just such a goated response. Stoked for that one. But yeah, no, literally just for her activism and acknowledging what is objectively happening, they are trying to label her essentially, like, making her the number 2 most dangerous anti-Semite in the world will put her above like actual terrorists and stuff, which I think is kind of crazy. I think I saw someone say this would also put her above Nick Fuentes. Which, dude, that is wild. Okay? That is genuinely wild. If you are not familiar with this dude, here, let me pull. If you're not familiar with this dude, good for you, honestly. But like when you have being known for anti-Semitism, including Holocaust denial, as the first paragraph on your Wikipedia page, and we're trying to pretend that Greta Thunberg is actually the hateful one. This is wild, dude. Anyways, let's continue.
just some weeks ago, Israel passed a new law to impose death penalty based on race only for Palestinians. This is apartheid. And on Palestine Prisoners' Day, April 17th, the world will rise up against this new law and against apartheid. We must activate all parts of civil society to demand imposing sanctions divestments, boycotts, accountability for war criminals, and ending our implicity with genocide and apartheid. It is the bare fucking minimum. So get organized and show up on Palestinian Prisoners Day, April 17th.
I mean, she said what she said. I truly fail to understand what there is to disagree with when it comes to this sort of thing. But people are loud. They hate her, honestly. And I'm just like, dog. Second most dangerous anti-Semite in the world. That should really be illustrating to you how farcical this is in general. That's wild, man. Someone said the bare minimum. It's the absolute bare minimum. Honestly, it is. I agree with her. But yeah, no, y'all are never gonna make me hate her. Honestly, this woman is like, when she messes up, then I guess maybe I'll have something to say. But it's always the same story, honestly, which is like, oh, Greta Thunberg said something that was correct, or she did something that was right to do, or she spoke up for these people who don't have as much of a platform as she does, and now we all hate her. And I'm just like, dog, y'all gotta move on from the Greta Thunberg hate, because you have literally been on this train since she was a child, since he was an actual child. It is ridiculous. Someone said not Miss Rachel too. Miss Rachel too, exactly. I feel the same way about Miss Rachel. Like, move on. But it is what it is. Someone said, I remember all these conspiracy theories about Greta from the right while she was still a child too. It was bad, honestly. And it continues to be bad, unfortunately, but what can you do? Someone said, a young outspoken woman. We can't have that, apparently. She's doing so much and people can't handle her standing up to them. Well, yeah, but the worst thing you could do is be loud and annoying to people. So, you know, her fate was sealed, unfortunately. But yeah, there's nothing annoying about speaking out against genocide and against mass starvation and standing up for people and saying that that should be the bare minimum. That's insane. Reading chat. Someone said dangerous Miss Rachel. Yeah, the most dangerous influencer of all is probably Miss Rachel for trying to instill basic human decency in adults. That way children are safe. But Lord, what we finna do? Someone said, I remember when she rage baited Andrew Tate so bad and people thought she got him arrested. That was cinema. That's in my Andrew Tate video from a few years ago where she replied to him. Wait, I gotta see if I can find it. Hold on. Greta Thunberg small energy Tate tweet. This tweet had like so many likes. Honestly, it was so good. Okay. So Andrew Tate tweeted, this is so long ago, 2022. I have 33 cars. Hello, at Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has a W16 8-liter quad turbo. My 2 Ferrari 812 Competition have 6.5-liter V12s. This is just the start. Please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions. So I guess he's just bragging about being rich and making the world a worse place in an attempt to trigger Greta Thunberg. And she said, yes, please do enlighten me. You can email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com, and then this is one of like the harshest ratios I've ever seen. Getting 3.3 million likes to Tate's barely 200K is wild. But yeah, dog, she's dope, honestly. Or I think she's dope. Keep kicking, Greta. Someone said grown man, by the way. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. This is so embarrassing. This is the insecurity that drives this sort of behavior is appalling, truly appalling. Someone said it's still funny. It's literally still funny. She was funny for that, honestly. Credit where credit due. Someone said people really had beef with her because she was being an environmental activist. Well, here's the thing, though. If somebody is saying that you're making the world worse by your actions or your inactions, and that we should stop doing that, people stop at the first part, and all they hear is like, I'm making the world worse through my actions or inactions or complicity. Screw you. And they don't get to any of this collectivist or important stuff where she's essentially saying like, we got to work together. We have to do this for us. We all deserve better. Like, they're not getting to the part where this is obviously rooted in change. And that doesn't mean, by the way, that like You need to soften your message. I think there's a lot of talk sometimes about like, oh, well, you don't want to alienate people. I see that a lot with like conservatives. Like, you don't want to alienate conservatives by like telling them that they're racist or this or misogynist or homophobic or whatever. Like, you have to, but no, honestly, it's really as black and white as Thunberg presents it. And the way she talks about things makes it clear that other people are basically choosing to be a bad person. Someone said no self-reflection whatsoever. Yeah, no, like, people try to play the game all the time of like, oh yeah, well, Thunberg's saying this, but she was like on a boat or she's flying to all of these conferences. And I'm just like, way to miss the point, man. Way to miss the point. Someone said adult men being insanely angry at anything Greta does just proves she's doing the right thing. Honestly though, ask the men in your life who their least favorite famous people are. I think everybody should do that. Maybe not even just the men, but ask someone in your life, especially if you're close to them, like, hey, who are your like least favorite celebrities or like prominent people? And then just see who they start rattling off. And you're going to learn a lot more about this person than you are by asking them about their favorites. I'm thinking about some red flags. Like, if I was like, who's your least favorite person? Like, who's the most annoying person to you? And you say something like Greta Thunberg or Zegler. What's her name? Rachel Zegler? Yeah, if you said something like that, that would be a really big red flag. Billie Eilish. If Billie Eilish is like one of the most annoying celebrities to you, Olivia Rodrigo, I would be like, okay, that's interesting. Do you want to elaborate what's going on there? Reading. Someone said if it's mostly annoying women, he's a red flag. Yeah, no, like, dog, being annoying is not a crime. Or if it is, lock me up, honestly. I would be perpetrator number one in the annoying games. Someone said my boyfriend it's Sydney Sweeney, I stay winning. See, if I ask somebody who's your least favorite celebrity that you're just tired of seeing and they say Sydney Sweeney, that's understandable. Because I feel the same way. Why is it always about MAGA? Why is it always about, accidental white supremacy? Or like some other crazy things that she's always involved in? See, that one actually makes sense to me, dog. That one tracks, truly. Reading. Someone said being annoying was a crime. I would have been born in jail. Yeah. Someone said J.K. Rowling. Oh man. Yeah, no, dog. I think if I had to think about who are the people that I just don't want to see anymore ever, Kanye West, number one least favorite. I'd never ever want to hear this man's name ever again. I never want to hear about an album. I never want to see him performing anywhere. Move on from Kanye West. He has contributed enough to the culture in his decades-long career at this point. Much of it horrendous and horrific. Much of it, I mean, even the good stuff, like, oh, he made good music, doesn't excuse you literally being a Hitler worshiper and all this other stuff. Also, people don't talk a lot about, like, Kanye West being hella anti-black as well. It's really cringe. And he didn't even apologize for that. But anyways, so that's he's my number one forever. Move on from Kanye. I'm tired of it. Yeah, I don't even know if I have, like, I'm sure I have others that I just really don't ever want to hear anything about, but he has to be one of them. Truly, dog. Someone said, I don't care for Kanye's attempted comeback. Stay down, bro. I feel the same way. Okay, chat, we're going over time, but I don't care because I'm having fun. I'm having fun with this conversation. Chat, I would like to bring up something. Someone said Chris Brown's a good candidate. Chris Brown is a great candidate, honestly. Oh, and Nick Fuentes. I know I mentioned him earlier. Oh, Charlie Kirk. I don't ever want to hear anything about Charlie Kirk again. He said, drop it. Stop with the Charlie Kirk worship. I'm so tired of this man's, like, haunting the narrative. Like, I'm so over it. There's a lot of people I would say are just the most annoying. And then by annoying, I mean they're terrible people that are being platformed or excused and stuff like that. But yeah, that to me is like a separate category than people who maybe I just don't care for their work or whatever. That's not the same thing at all. But other people wind up getting this like hella conflated, and it's annoying. Someone said yes, Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I'm tired of it. Chat, listen, we need to have a talk. We need to have a discussion. I'm thinking of doing something that is a little dangerous. And and I wanted to work it out with you all first. I'm thinking about talking about the Michael Jackson movie. Womp womp womp. That's a really big womp womp because of all the people in this world who were famous, who have ride or dies, who like all the people that I could possibly talk about, who I know that their fan bases are going to come out in droves and be cringe and awful and all this stuff, is Michael Jackson. But I still think I have a point. And to be clear, by the way, chat, obviously he was a pedophile. Duh. I feel like that's, to me, I'm not even going to go into this video like playing this we'll never know both sides sort of like, oh, we got to examine the evidence. No, dog. I examined the evidence. That man was a child molester, honestly. Duh. What are you talking about? I literally did so much research because that's what the Michael people kept saying. The Michael Jackson defenders kept saying, do your research, you have to do your own research. So I was looking at these reports, and I was looking at money that he paid, and I was looking at things that were recovered from his house, and I was looking at all of these things and who spoke up when, and I was looking at the timelines, and I did all these things, and I was like, so he was a pedophile. It was barely hidden. Hello? So I feel like I would like to talk about how this new movie coming out, reigniting this sort of Michael Jackson debate and the cognitive dissonance around this. There's a lot there that we could talk about, and there's a lot that we could get into, honestly. And I think it would be a decent stream. I just don't want, I don't want cringe in my personal life. I'm sure I'm gonna have people like mad at me or whatever, or trying to bring up some obscure thing and be like, oh yeah, well, you're talking about something that was debunked or whatever. I promise you, I promise you I've done as much research as you have. I looked at all of the debunking everything, and I was just like, no, dog. Someone said there's too much evidence stacked against him. Like, at best, it's still bad. Well, that's the thing, too, actually, that I feel like almost nobody who defends... No, literally nobody who defends Michael Jackson will admit this. Even if your version of events are correct, he was still honestly abusive towards these children. Even if everything Michael himself said was true, and it never went before or beyond that in any capacity, his behavior was still like wide scale grooming a bunch of kids. And so I don't even understand the defense, because I'm just like, all they can really say is like, well, it's not as bad as it seems. And I'm just like, dog, what? Someone said they also keep saying that he was actually protecting the kids. Yeah, no, you gotta miss me with that, honestly. But yeah, I would like to have an honest stream about this movie and how I feel, where I don't have to constantly like make room for the Michael defenders, because I did my time in defending Michael Jackson jail, and I'm over it, honestly, dog. I'm over it. Someone said same debate around Elvis and the Elvis movie. Way too many people excusing his pedophilic actions because quote unquote the times are different. Yeah, no, it's nah, man. Someone said, I was an MJ fan as a kid, and he was dead for most of my life, so I was able to separate the art from the artist. Excuse me. But even then, I believe something crazy was going on with him and them kids. That's the thing, is like, God, sometimes I feel like I'm missing something, because I don't even understand how liking someone's music would result in this behavior. I like Michael Jackson's music. Actually, it was formative. And Michael Jackson's music was very necessary for pop, in that like much of the sounds that you're hearing nowadays just straight up wouldn't exist if he hadn't done what he had done. And me growing up, being a child, honestly a black child, and a black family, bro, it was Michael everything. Like, he was an icon, literally. And yet I still don't even really see what that has to do with like why should I excuse his actions? It doesn't like make me a bad person for having this really close relationship to his work, honestly. Like, but I think it's kind of what I was saying, like about Greta Thunberg, where she speaks up about the environment and then people get mad at her because they feel like she's like criticizing them. And it's more so just like, no, we as a whole should not be allowing this to happen. I think it's the same thing, dog. It definitely is. Someone said, I still have my mom's old thriller. Yeah, dude, like, I see no reason in like me being performative about it. Bro, we were bumping so much Michael Jackson. The whole world was, honestly. But like, you have to grow and change with new information. Or at least I feel like I have to grow and change with new information. Someone said, but apparently he's young at heart. Yeah, no, the defenses are just so weird, man. I can't. I really can't, dog. Someone said, as a femme or less masked person, Michael offered a level of representation. Me too. I really, really, really related to a lot of Michael's looks from like a gender perspective. Oh man. Yeah, no, like that's the thing. Somebody can do things that were important or even kind of really meaningful to you and still be, unfortunately, like terrible person who also caused harm. But I really, really don't think people know how to reconcile that. And that is why wholesale people get excused on this grand level. Reading chat. Someone said, can we get a breakdown on the evidence? I've been part of that. He got thrown under the bus bandwagon. Basically, if I was to make this stream, which I will still decide on, I may not talk about it, I'm going to show y'all what I looked at, which is why I am of the opinion that I am of. And then from there, you can decide. Okay, I will say this. Who pays like millions of dollars to settle these kinds of things? Who? That's not my only reasoning whatsoever, but I think the main thing that I just couldn't get past was like the settlement money. People trying to sue over this and him just being like, oh, you know what? Millions of dollars. Let's not hash this out in court. Just go away. Dog, that's weird. That's entirely weird. Someone said take your time with that one, but it's very much needed. Yeah, I gotta make sure that I'm not gonna get got by the people, in the comments, because they're gonna be out in droves trying to explain why I'm wrong about everything. Someone said that part though. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. The settlement money is just weird. If somebody accused me of something that I didn't do, I'd be like, let's please hash this out in court. Please, for the love of God, let's examine everything. Otherwise, how am I gonna not like, I don't want to get in trouble for something I didn't do. But if I instead was like, okay, let me just pay you a lot of money so you can stop saying I did this. Someone said that is weird, but it doesn't confirm anything. Okay, that's fine. And on like an objective semantic level, that's correct. Yes. Settlement money, millions of dollars paid in the settlement to stop an investigation from happening into you for child molestation doesn't prove anything. No, I agree, but it is what it is, dog. It is what it is. Anyways. And someone said, regardless of what happened, I wouldn't trust anyone like that with kids. Yeah, no, thank you. It's a no from me. But look, as you see, we've already had a lot of lively discussion about this in just a short period of time. Some said the other evidence, though. Yeah, no, and again, just looking at the things that were recovered from this man's own house, and also the way that he had everything set up and the timeline of who came forward and dog is a no dog. Anyways, moving on from Michael Jackson for now, because as you can see, there's going to be a lot of work to do. I guess we can go ahead and get into the video. 19 minutes late. This is how we do it. You already know. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I'm going to pull my... Oh, I did not enter that website correctly. I was like, what? Hold on, chat. Trying to pull up my outline. I'm a Microsoft kind of guy, unfortunately. I know a lot of people are like Google Drive people, and they're like, no, everything we do in Google Drive. And but everything I do is in Word and OneDrive, which I don't even have like any sort of loyalty to them or my loyalty to them is not for any particular reason. It's literally just because that's what we used in school. Like back when I went to college 12 years ago for the first time. And 12 years ago. Okay. I didn't really need that information. But anyways, yeah, ever since I got introduced into the Microsoft cloud environment, now I'm still here, unfortunately. Anyways. Someone said, do you have a hand tattoo? It looks so cool. Thank you, I do. Yeah, look. You like it? Here, let's see if I can get a decent view of it for you. It's such good work. Honestly, it's one of my favorite. And this is not even the only clown tattoo I have on my body. And likely there will be more as well. But anyways, okay. Gonna drink some water. Someone said he started college when he was like 16. I started college when I was 15. L. Massive L. I started college when I was 15 and I graduated when I was 19. And I have been burned out ever since. Was not a good decision. Was not good for me at all, but that's okay. What can you do? We hear. Someone said, is your hand and new tat healing up good? Oh, are you asking about when I hurt myself? Yes. As you can see, you can barely see it on camera. It's a lot better looking. And then as for the tattoo that I messed up by falling on it, unfortunately on the part where I fell, for those of you who don't know, Chad, I like to run outside. I don't know why. But the other day I ran outside and then I fell twice and it was bad. But where I fell and kind of scraped my leg, unfortunately, there's ink loss. So I will have to get it touched up at some point. And I'm really sad. I'm sad that I messed someone's artwork up. But that's okay though, because it's not impossible to touch up a tattoo. I'm just gonna have to wait till it heals fully and probably get it done in a few months. But other than that, I think 90% of the tattoo looks really great, which I'm happy about, honestly. But yeah, I feel so much better. Hand feels better, knees feel better, leg feels better. And I am a little like, what's the word I want to use? I have like a lowercase t trauma. I have been I don't want to run outside. I'm going to run outside again, but like yesterday, I did 4 miles on the treadmill instead of going outside because I'm just like, what if I fall? But it's okay. I'm gonna get back out there. Falling is literally part of it. Someone said you were running with a healing tattoo. Well, that's the thing about runners is, and a lot of them won't tell you this, but they're all really dumb. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know this just from having met them, like going to run clubs, running with other people, big groups, small groups. I'm sorry, nobody is more delusional than somebody who actually enjoys running recreationally, or even if it's their sport that they do professionally. I've run with healing tattoos. I've run with, what else have I run with? Oh, I've run while sick. I've run in the rain while it was cold. And then obviously I got sick after that. I've run when my physical therapist told me not to run because I was like, and now when I go into physical therapy, I usually tell them like, hey, I'm probably going to be like running, a little bit, even if it's just like a mile or even if it's really slow. So can we tailor the physical therapy around me maybe still ignoring your advice? And then they will give me a plan where they're like, you absolutely cannot run for at least this period of time. And so I will listen to them mostly for that, even though I will still go on walks. But then after I hit my like week, 2 week, 3 week, however weeks they gave me, I'm right back out there. Cause like, that's why I was running with a new tattoo. That's not even close to like the dumbest thing I've done while running. Someone said running is the only socially acceptable addiction. You know what, chat? I know you were kidding, likely. I honestly feel like there are so many socially acceptable addictions, low key, and that a lot of people would be happier if we saw them as such. And some of y'all might get mad at this. Don't get mad at this. Don't don't think that I'm coming for you. I'm more so, you're gonna see what I'm saying right now. Someone said, have you read Haruki Murakami's autobiography? I started to. What I think about when I think about running. Caffeine. Caffeine. Listen to me. I know that certain substances are actually chemically addictive. Nicotine, obviously, and things like this. But I believe that because certain substances don't actually get labeled as like chemically addictive per se, in the same way that we understand other things to be, I think people's tolerance for dependence on these substances is like so much higher. Because here's what I'm saying. You having a coffee because you want to and it gives you energy, that's not a bad thing to do, right? Obviously. Chat, you skipping a coffee and then experiencing withdrawal symptoms, that's not good. It's not, and I'm not saying this like a scenario that I made up. I see it happen a lot where I'm just like, oh no, this is not a good thing. Someone said more like dependency over addiction. That's a good point though. Like maybe I should be more specific with my words. But in general, I do think that like there's behavior that can be really harmful, really harmful. And it's just kind of seen as like, it is what it is. But yeah, maybe that's why, because it's not the same thing, obviously, if you have like, say, an alcohol addiction and it's harming your health and things like this. But I don't know, dog, it's wild. And that's just one thing. What else am I trying to think? Obviously, social media, I had that one, where it was literally impacting my life. Like it was bad. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't. But yeah, I had that one. What else? There's a lot of these where I'm just like, dog, this is genuinely, this is not healthy. It's not healthy. Someone say if I said that happened to me, yeah, if you skip one coffee and then it all comes tumbling down, I don't know, dog. I don't know. And I'm totally not immune to these things either by any means. Oh, maybe weed sometimes. This doesn't mean that I'm an op. I stand for the complete and immediate decriminalization of marijuana. Obviously, that's not something that you should be charged for or, fined, jailed, etc. People can do what they want and should. Obviously, there's nothing morally wrong with smoking weed or consuming it in any way. But sometimes I notice, like, because it's not tobacco, and behavior that would in any other context actually be seen as quite concerning is just like, nah. And I'm just like, oh man, dog. Sometimes a weed smoker 100%. But yeah, no, like, that being said, that literally doesn't mean people shouldn't have access to these things. I think like we don't need prohibition. That's not what I'm arguing for at all. Just more so just like, dang bro. Reading. Someone said physical caffeine withdrawal symptoms will happen if you drink multiple coffees every day. The headaches are crazy. The headaches are mostly what I'm familiar with just seeing people get like knocked out by like a crazy headache because they skipped like a single dose of caffeine. And I'm just like, oh, this is not good, man. This is not good. Someone said, no, you're right. Just because it's legal doesn't mean you should overdo it. Yeah. But now I always try to really make sure that I'm like being clear about where I'm coming from with things, because there's a lot of people who will just be like, oh, weed is the devil's lettuce, and and I'm just like, oh, stop it, man, stop it, dog. That's not the move at all. That's not the move, dog. Someone said weed addiction is not real. Unless I'm totally misunderstanding addiction, like, isn't every addiction real? Now, chat, this is the part where you're going to have to check me, because if I'm spreading medical misinformation, stop me immediately. I don't want to do that. But I feel like being chemically addictive is not the same thing as somebody developing an addiction to something. And that something could literally be anything from words on the screen to some sort of substance to like, I don't know, an environment to like shopping to like, you could be addicted. Addictions are like, maybe I'm saying this incorrectly, honestly. Maybe I sound stupid and I'm wrong, but I'm just like, my understanding is like chemical addiction is a little bit different from behaviors that become detrimental to your life because of your inability to stop doing them low key. You know what I mean? Someone said you're right. Anything can be addictive. Psych. Yeah, no, that's more so what I'm approaching it for. Of like, it's not the weed itself, dog. It's the way that, you know, it's manifested in your life particularly. But anyways, it is what it is, dog. It is what it is. I think it's really tricky though, because we also, someone said the chat's going insane. The chat's going insane. There's a lot of opinions here, which I appreciate. Someone said binge eating for me. Oof. I've talked about this a little bit, like a very, 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 very little bit, just a tiny bit, in my Ozempic video. Actually, I think I was probably really vague in that video, but like getting dopamine from like food, dog, that was so bad for me. Like, and what I mean by that is like, I think anything can be the thing. Anything can be the thing where it's detrimental to you. And dog, it was so bad. Honestly, I was at a point where like, how do I talk about this? There's like no shame in it, honestly. There's no shame in it. But just due to a combination of a bunch of factors, I was just desperately, honestly craving something that like, I don't know how to explain it. There's not like science behind it. And yeah, I felt like I was so, I was so out of control with eating and stuff like that. And it was painful. It was not good. It was bad. Someone said the executive dysfunction eating pipeline is real. Yeah. For me, I'm only speaking for myself. Neurodivergence had a lot to do with that. Or if I'm being more specific, like it did feel like the ADHD plus anxiety of it all was just my reasoning for like, I needed something to do. I needed something to do. And it took so much like mental realignment in my brain or whatever of just trying to figure out like, what actually is food? Why do people eat? What does it mean to eat for enjoyment? What does it mean to be hungry? I didn't know what any of these things actually meant because I was just like, this was my feel better button. Feel better, feel better, feel better. And yeah, I did get, I guess, over that, if that's the word I want to use. But I don't feel like I got over it though. That's the thing. All my demons be lurking on my periphery like we're on the edge of some first-person horror video game. So who knows? We're over it for now, but jump scares are always waiting to happen in any well-designed game. And I will say, whoever the dev is, I'm quite tired of their antics, but they are pretty good at scaring me. Someone said, people who crave routine for sure are the most likely to fall victim to addiction. Yeah, for me, it's crazy because I felt like I was on a schedule low-key, but it was completely out of control. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just wild, dog. It's wild. Someone said, that's so real, D'Angelo. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. Hey, we all got things that we deal with. And that's also why when I talk about these things, I'm just like, hey, these things can be harmful or whatever. It's not because I'm coming over here like, you know, the straight edge. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't even got to smoke and drink. Turns out there's so many ways, new and creative experiences that will kind of make your life a little bit worse. And a lot of people who smoke and drink are healthier than me. Someone said, what helped you? Tell us, please. Okay, I'll tell you in a second. A lot of people who smoke and drink, I think have more like normal, or I should use the word typical thought patterns towards the things that they're doing. And that is why I've talked this before. That's why I don't do it. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do none of this because I know for sure that I would be the worst. I know I would be the worst person. I know it. It's not a hunch. It's not a guess. No, excuse me. Anyways, as for me and what happened, besides a lot of therapy, I will tell you the shortest answer was honestly holding space for uncomfortable feelings and diverting them elsewhere. So like I had a running note on my phone that anytime I was feeling like really, really, really bad, which was often, usually I had my go-tos of making myself feel better. But of course, those things I didn't feel like were good for my health because I didn't feel like I was in control of them. So I was encouraged to instead just start writing down whatever was the issue. So, and I still have these notes. Honestly, I look back on them. I really do. And I try to never forget how I felt when I wrote these things, and also never forget that I don't feel that way currently. So I will literally just whip out my phone in public or wherever and just type up on a Google Note. I'm just going to make up an example right here, but just like, I'm so tired. I've never been this tired, and I don't think anybody should have to be this tired. Like, this isn't fair. And then it would just be a lot of things like this, a lot of like really uncomfortable thoughts. Or what I would do a lot too is I would write down like what I wanted to do. That was like not helpful. So I would write down like, I want to insert, eat these things and stay up and not turn this in and let all these things fail. And then after I wrote it, I would realize that I still had to move on with my day. And like externalizing the way that I felt went such a long way towards me figuring out other ways of dealing with those feelings. I think the issue was just that they were all so deeply internal that I felt like I had no other recourse than to just rely on my simple comforts. And that turns out it's not true. You know what I mean? It's not true. But some say it helped me too. It helps me, honestly. It really did. And I don't even really do that anymore. Not really a big journal or whatever, but I feel like just the repetitive action of doing this helps me vocalize, even if it's, or just mentally think my thoughts a little bit clearer. Because I think my issue is that a lot of sorry chat, I realize like we're getting really deep, but someone asked me a good question, so I'm just gonna keep going. A lot of the really dark and negative thoughts that I experience are actually like background noise. It's not necessarily like on the same level of my internal monologue telling me you're live right now and you've been streaming for 1 hour and 7 minutes and you haven't even started recording. What are you doing? Like, those are all thoughts I can hear, but I think the vast majority of the things that make me feel like fertilizer are the things that I can't hear, because I am just so uncomfortable with even engaging with those things. But really unpacking where those things are coming from and what they were trying to say and realizing that I can get past that has helped me a lot. So yay. Someone said, do you have OCD? I don't have OCD. No, I do not. Anyways, some sort of chatting, it's fun. I'm having fun. I knew that this was going to be like an unstructured little vibe from jump, honestly. I figured it would be. Reading chat. Someone said, I feel like it would be more of a dependency. I have no idea though. Don't listen to me. Yeah, that being said though, what the hell? I need to stop saying what the hell. That is like TikTok slang, I think. That I have just like, oh, this is like a whole song. I'm not looking for a song. That is like slang I have directly lifted from TikTok. But it's really funny. It's really funny. Anyways, what I was gonna say was, despite that, though, someone says, you have ADHD? Yes, I have a lot of it. Please ignore anything I said that sounded like medical advice. I will never stop saying that. I'm not an advocate. I'm not an expert. I don't have a basis. I'm just one person who is moving through the things he deals with in his own way. And sometimes the things I say may sound helpful to other people or even be helpful to other people, but I'm still really not a source that anybody should be looking towards. And yeah, anything I said about chemicals or dependencies or addictions, ignore that, because I barely know what those things are. I'm just making observations. Someone said, would you ever bleach your eyebrows? Maybe. I'm trying to visualize it. I think that would look good. Yeah, I think that would look pretty dope, honestly. I should download Photoshop on my computer. I mean, I have it on other computers, but on this one, so we can just like Photoshop things in real time. Commit misinformation. Why not, chat? Actually, should we do that right now? I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm not bored because I'm on a live stream. But I'm also kind of bored. Oh, wait, hold on. If I download Photoshop, I'm going to have to if I download Photoshop, I'm going to have to sign out of Photoshop and my other places. And also it takes such a long time to download and install. But maybe I'll get started on the process of doing that. And then at a later point, we can just mess around in Photoshop. I love Photoshopping things. And when I say Photoshopping things, I mean actually Photoshopping things. Like not using Adobe's cringe built-in AI tools that they're now forcing all over the platform, which I'm so deeply tired of. Okay, let's see. Signing in, entering my Google password. My nightmare is that one day I'm going to be entering my Google password and it's going to be on screen. But thankfully I have two-step verification, so none of y'all can get into my YouTube account unless you have my phone, which I don't know why I'm advertising that information to you. Someone said, D'Angelo, you're helping me through a wicked tummy ache right now. I'm glad I'm helping. Dude, I hate stomach cramps so much. I really don't experience them that much. Like maybe like literally a couple times a year, I will randomly get like the most piercing, awful, terrible stomach cramps. And I'm just like, dog, I've been stabbed. I've been impaled. I have no idea. It's probably just me eating a meal that I didn't agree with or something like that. Okay. I'm installing Creative Cloud now, chat. So that's going to be fun. Someone says stomach pain is horrible. I don't think we talk about it enough. I know I say this about everything that I talk about. Clearly people talk about this, but listen to me. Dog. I genuinely think that might be some of the sharpest pain I've ever felt in my life. And I'm being serious. I'm being serious. Like having sat through like tattoo machines on the side of my neck and on my sternum, my bone, and you know, just getting metal shoved through my lips and stuff. I still think honestly, some of the worst pain I've ever had to deal with has 100% been like stomach cramps because it's so sharp and god, it's so bad. I don't even know how that works, but I wish it didn't work. I'm over it. Okay, let's see. Installing from this file. You know what's funny? I don't even know low-key if like this computer can run Photoshop. Because I have like a chill little computer for streaming that I mostly just use for like chill vibes. So we'll see if this is even a good idea. Start installing. Okay, great. Someone said I fell down the flight of stairs last night and now I can't walk. I hope that turns around for you. That's wild. That's scary. That is very scary. Anyways, what else we got? Someone said, do you have emetophobia? Emetophobia. I know what that is because I looked it up before, but now I don't remember. Oh, an intense fear of vomiting, seeing vomit, or feeling nauseous. No, thankfully I don't have that. That would suck so bad, honestly. Especially because like intense fear or anxiety can make you vomit. So being afraid of doing this and then dog, no. I definitely feel for anybody who has that. Someone said you have a special computer for streaming. I was wondering why you use Microsoft Edge. That could explain it. Oh no, I just use Microsoft Edge because I'm edgy. I'm like, everybody's on Chrome or all these other things. And I'm just like, why not use the browser that everybody hates? I stick up for the underdogs. But yes, I have two computers. What you're watching right now is video footage that's being streamed from a Mac computer. And then what you see when I bring up my computer, that the screen is a different computer. That way, even if my streaming or even if my actual PC goes down, the stream can persist. And thankfully, no jinx. We have literally never had a stream go offline except for one time when I did it myself because I unplugged something and I didn't know that it was going to crash the stream. So it's been a pretty good setup and I'm very glad that I split things this way. Some say I feel like the comments are delayed. The comments are undeniably delayed by anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds, but I have no control over that whatsoever, unfortunately. Which is weird because it's different for different platforms. Like if you go to Instagram and you live stream, I swear to God, there's literally no delay. There's no delay on an Instagram live stream. But like on YouTube, I usually notice like 15 to 20 seconds. And that's just because like streaming is low-key magic. Like the fact that this technology even exists and I can broadcast from this room to you anywhere in the world in a fairly nice looking picture as well, like good quality and stuff. It's wild, dog. It's wild, dog. People are asking when I'm going to get to the topic. Chat, one thing you should know about me, I may never get to the topic. I mean, I probably will because I have too many things to talk about. And I don't even know how we're going to fit them in the rest of the stream. But like, honestly, the order of it matters so little. Usually I do the topic first and then we yap after. But I'm just having fun. I love streaming. It's great. Someone said, I love the extended yap sets. Exactly. And you don't get these very often, by the way. So, okay. So I've installed Adobe Creative Cloud. Now, I'm trying to install Photoshop. All of this because I just want to have, bleached brows. Okay, hold on. Now I'm going to take a screenshot of myself. Gonna try to make sure that I'm really serving. Is that a serve? What am I doing? Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna look at this picture. This might be the stupidest picture. Oh, that's a good picture. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna do one more. Okay, that's decent. That's serving what's supposed to be served. I will take it. All right, so from here, I am going to, I guess, just post this picture on my OneDrive, and then I will be able to edit it. Someone said mewing. Okay, this is funny. I'm gonna talk about mewing in a second because I realized something that I think is hilarious. Okay. I'm going to grab this from my Mac desktop and now put it in my Windows cloud, and then from there I will be able to open it on my PC in Adobe Photoshop, which is just an absolute mess. Okay, that's there. All right. It's funny that we're talking about mewing and stuff like that because later in the stream we're going to be talking about clavicular. We're going to be talking about clavicular, who is like looks maxing community, live streamer, cringe, bad. But mewing is something that people do in the looks maxing community and PC. Hold on, wait. Let me close all of these Adobe tabs so my info doesn't just like randomly pop up on y'all. Okay. Microsoft Edge. Okay, great. So mewing is this thing that people say gives you more of a jawline or something. And apparently like people will go cuckoo bananas over mewing on Reddit or all these various like looks maxing, all these various looks maxing platforms, trying essentially to prove that if you mew, it's going to turn you into some sort of Chad with a jawline, I guess, versus not mewing is going to alter your appearance. This is pseudoscience. This is pseudoscientific. There's literally no proven basis for this, right? But that being said, when I looked into what mewing actually is, I realized that I have been doing it my entire life. I was like, I don't think this is real, but if it is real, maybe that explains some things. I am literally always mewing. I feel like it's literally just like tongue posture. Essentially, like, where does your tongue naturally rest in your face or something? Yeah, it says a popular unproven oral posture technique involving holding the entire tongue against the roof of your mouth to potentially improve jawline definition. It's not my entire tongue. That's not naturally how my mouth rests, but I do think just like if I close my mouth, a significant portion of my tongue just rests there without me actually having to like move a muscle or anything like that. So I'm just like, is that why I have a jaw? Because I was always mewing, but no, this is stupid and doesn't matter at all. I promise you, it's not real. It's not real, dog. Someone said D'Angelo mewing final boss. Apparently, I have 27 years of experience mewing, and it shows. So stupid. Someone said, isn't that just natural? It literally just depends on the person. Someone said I saw Dave Chappelle and I had to click because I hate that guy. Okay, don't worry, you're gonna eat soon. Usually in another stream I would have started talking about him 50 minutes ago, but I'm having a lot of fun right now. I'm gonna drink some water, chat. Somebody said I want a jaw. You don't even need one. That's the thing. Is like dudes are so, I mean, you may not be a dude, but in general, dudes are so obsessed with having like a defined jaw. But like round faces can also be really cute. And also there's a bunch of different ways of having, you know, this, that, the other. I feel like as somebody who used to not really have a very well-defined one, I was still cute. I accidentally froze the live chat. My bad. Okay, there we go. It's going so fast. It's going so fast. Someone says, sorry, off topic. What do you pronounce? He and him. And also who? Someone said, I was taught that's to get rid of your double chin way before mewing was a thing. It's wild, dog. It's wild. Someone said, I've seen the dentist on TikTok say it was just a good tongue posture. Yeah, I've been had that. Okay, Photoshop is almost done installing, chat. It's 78% of the way done. 78% in, and then we can finally give me bleached eyebrows. Or see if that was a horrible mistake. I'm kind of leaning towards the latter, but we'll see. I've pulled off some really weird things thus far. Why not bleached eyebrows? All right, so I'm gonna sign into OneDrive so I can download this picture. OneDrive live.com. Okay, photos. Yes, here I am. That's a good photo, y'all. I'm telling y'all, this photo goes hard. Okay, so let's see. Photoshop is at 80, so we'll just let it keep going. We can't move on to the topic, chat, until we see me with bleached eyebrows. Sorry, it's the law. It's the law. Honestly, I froze the chat again. Okay, there we go. Look how fast it's going. Sorry, chat. I keep putting y'all in jail accidentally. I apologize. Someone said bald people used to scare me, but I'm obsessed with D'Angelo. Good. I'm trying to be representation. Good representation for bald people. So it is what it is. Someone said real ones shave the eyebrows off. Okay. I don't know if I could pull that off. My chat is frozen again. Okay, hold on, chat. I actually feel like... Okay, I think I fixed it. You're out of jail. Congratulations. I don't know what I was doing, but you're all back. I was like, nobody has... I thought I was being funny. No one has anything to say. No, okay, we're fine. We're so fine. Someone said try different tones of bleaching to see which is best. Okay, we can do it. Photoshop is a very versatile tool. I don't think anybody should use it because I hate Adobe, but I can definitely get myself different tone eyebrows, and we'll see how that works for me. Someone said tiny brows would look good for sure. Maybe. They could. I don't know. I feel like I already have a little bit of eyebrow intrigue thanks to this up here, which many people believe that I do for the fashion, but actually I cut myself on the cardboard box when I was 4 and it never grew back ever. So that's actually why I have a cool right eyebrow. Someone said, did you get new piercings or were they always there? No, they're new. Don't worry. You're not going crazy. I swear. Someone said, I shaved my brows in 2020 and looked like Voldemort. Some people can pull it off, and others, which I fear would be me, I'm just like, oh, you had eyebrows for a reason. You definitely did, honestly. So you're literally so beautiful. Well, thank you, chat. I appreciate it. I try. I mean, also, I'm in an environment literally specifically tailored and created to make me look as good as possible because it's also good for views. And I promise you, if you sat right here in this lighting, you would be like, I didn't even know I could eat so hard. Because listen, not only am I beautiful, I'm also really talented, right? My lighting setup is beautiful. It's beautiful. And I'm black as hell. It don't matter what your skin tone is. Come sit here with dark skin and you're gonna look beautiful under my lighting. Come sit here and be pale. Some of y'all is, and that is okay. You're gonna look great under this lighting. So yeah, come meet me over here where the lighting is good, and you will look really great on camera too. I promise. Someone said, is your jaw natural? I sure hope it does. I don't know what the alternative is, but if you're asking if I've had any sort of like implant, no. I'm scared, honestly. Someone said the confidence is tea. The confidence is tea. Like, I'm serious. You just gotta be. You gotta be what you is. Oh wait, okay. Photoshop is question mark. Photoshop is kind of in purgatory right now. I don't know if it's installed or what. Oh, it's open. I got it open. It's open on my computer. Okay, hold on. So now I think I have to log in. Give me a second, chat. We are so close to seeing me with bleached brows. Sometimes you have to do pink eyebrows. Okay, I'm going to sign out of my MacBook, I guess. Okay, great. Continue. And then I'm going to... Photoshop is so bloated, dog. It's bad. It's bad. Okay, now I'm just going to download or pull this from my downloads. Okay. We are go in Photoshop. We are going to try to bleach the heck out of these brows really fast. So let's see. Oh God, what is happening? Finishing detection. What is wow, that was really easy. I don't know what's going on here. I hate this toolbar with like the generative fill nonsense and stuff like that. How do I get rid of this toolbar? Okay, there we go. Well, anyways, my eyebrows are selected. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments via, I guess I'm going to do a new adjustment layer for probably selective color. And from here, we can start like... There we go. Look at that, chat. Oh, he's got red brows. Wait. Okay, hold on. Am I tripping? Am I tripping or do the red brows kind of eat? I didn't even press that on purpose. I literally did not even press. Do people do this? I swear to God, that actually looks good. Hold on. Wait. I want to see if people do this. Dyed red eyebrows images. Oh, people do it. This looks good. Oh nah, okay, y'all got me messed up. We're off to a good start, chat. We're off to the races here. But what I really wanted to do was not that. So I think to get it to, someone said pink. Okay, hold on, we can do pink. I think oh God, Photoshop is so ugly to use on a new computer. We'll start by trying to increase the brightness. Oh, now you can see I have a really bad. This is such a bad selection. Okay, hold on. I can't do this. Delete. I shouldn't have done this because now you're just going to see that I actually don't know how to use Photoshop. I'm going to delete the adjustment layer and oh my God. Okay, take two, chat. I'm just going to try to use, instead of object selection tool, the magic wand tool. And, oh no, we'll turn the tolerance down a little bit. Maybe we can do like something like, oh my God. Okay, you know what? If it gets the side of my head or whatever, so be it. Sorry, chat. This is painful. Okay. That's probably a better, we'll get up here. Give me a second. I'm gonna... Ah! Well, there's your pink brow and also the entire side of my head being deleted. Hold on. What happened there? I was so close to glory. Chat. All of my keyboard shortcuts are bugging out right now. Someone said I would make a mask and paint it. Okay, maybe I'm just gonna do that. I have no idea why this is turning out so poorly. Hold on, let's make a mask and just paint it. New layer. I'm trying to do this with a mouse. Please don't laugh at me or I'm gonna cry. I'm really gonna cry. Okay, here we go. That's decent. Maybe. I don't know. We'll get up here a little bit and down here. I don't even really know what shape my brows are. I guess I would say they're pretty straight. I guess something on me has to be right. Okay. Oh, that's terrible. This is so bad. Okay, hold on. But I think like it shouldn't really be that noticeable if I just feather the selection out. Maybe. Sorry, chat. I need to buy like a drawing tablet or something so I can actually Photoshop easier. When I Photoshop, I do so on my other computer and I don't run into these problems. And I said I was going to buy a drawing tablet. That one's a little bit better. That one's a little bit better. Wait, now feel like we can do better on this side. Okay. I mean, that's a look. Now I have the Eugene Levy, which, you know what? Someone's gotta. I think it works for him, maybe not me. This is so stupid. Okay, so now that I've kind of maybe a little bit gotten a mask, and if I was to, I think this should be a better selection. Let's see. I'm going to select, modify, feather by maybe 2 pixels. Okay, I think that should be fine, chat. So from here now, God, what am I doing? Okay, you know what? It is what it is. Adjustments. Hopefully this is less terrible. And if it's still bad, then I'm just gonna I'm gonna cry. Someone said Ben Shapiro maxing. Maybe let's not Ben Shapiro max. Okay, please be less terrible. This seems less bad. This seems less bad. Let's do pink really fast. Okay, that's a little bit lighter. How am I gonna do pink, chat? Let's see. You know what? Instead of messing with the reds, even though there's a lot of reds in this one, but I think it might be easier to try to do it from the neutrals. And I just have to not go super ham with it. So there we go. There we go. We'll lighten them up a little bit, I guess. That might be a decent base. And then from here, that's kind of purplish, but I want it to be more cyan, and then a little lighter. Okay, there we go. We can work with that. But chat, that's a little fierce. That's a little pinker than I was expecting. Hold on. There we go. I don't think pink is working for me, chat. I don't think that this is a good. I don't think this is the right answer. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, that one's kind of nice. Okay, here. Oh, I am zooming in. That's terrifying. I don't know about that, chat. I'm not leaning towards the pink at all. I personally liked the red a lot more. Let's see. Red makes more sense to me because I think it's a little bit bolder. Yeah, that looks nicer. That looks nicer than the pink, honestly. I think my skin tone is just like pretty similar to pink from like a value perspective, as in like what I'm trying to say is I need something bolder than pink because it's a little too samey. Someone said a dark pink, not hot fuchsia. Okay, we could try to do a dark pink. If that's the case, I guess I do more magenta, tone down the cyan. Let's see. Does it need more yellow, chat? And then like darker? If it was so dark, like would you even notice it really? That's kind of purple. Today we're learning that I don't know color theory well enough to get to pink from wherever my brows are right here. Okay, there we go. Is that what you mean? I think that looks a lot nicer, honestly. I could see that. I think that's nice. Someone said mute the color. Yeah, if it was like this, but a little... I think that works, honestly. The thing is, though, like... Would you even notice, though? Because I feel like... Here, we'll turn it off. I feel like you can kind of tell, but it's such a slight effect. Maybe because there's so much more pink behind me. Someone said it's cute. It is cute, though. I would do this. Okay, and then lastly, lastly, I'm going to try a blonde. That might be really, really, really difficult, chat, because my eyebrows are black. They are not blonde. But let's see what we can do here. Okay. I'm going to do image adjustments, selective color. Okay. Let's see how quickly I can get to a blonde here. Wait, what is happening? Sorry, chat, give me a second. So many things in Photoshop changed for no reason. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit lighter, just a little bit, not too much lighter. Okay, hold on. I think we're getting in the right direction. Then I'm gonna, now I look like an old man. Now I look like an old man. I need them to be yellower. I mean, that's more of like a platinum blonde. No, I'm not really feeling it. Well, I don't know. It kind of looks good. Hold on. Let's try to make it, as I said, yellower. Which is kind of hard to do. Hold on, chat. This is so difficult, low key. I don't know why this is so hard. Someone said it works, so I don't think it doesn't work. There we go. There we go. That's a decent blonde brow. That's fine. I will accept that. I'm not going to mess it up any further. Just kidding. I'm going to try. Let's bring some more yellow into it. You know, this is not really bad. That's too much yellow. Oh my God. Okay. That's a little better. That's a little better. And then somewhat lighter. They can't really be that light because it's not going to look that light on my skin, I feel. I think it looks kind of good. I think, look, this is a very bad Photoshop rush job, and I could have done a much better job. I could have done a much better job of Photoshopping this, but I feel like low key, this'll look. The thing is, though, chat, I feel like this pushes me over the edge. Because I think, like, this is... I don't know how to explain this without sounding stupid, so just accept my stupidity. I think that this makes me look scary hot. Does that make sense? I feel like this is intimidating. Someone said kind of fierce. Yes, and whereas I enjoy looking nice on camera, and clearly I don't care about looking scary that much because hello. I feel like this is the last step where that might be too powerful for a YouTube video about online drama. That's where I'm drawing the line of like, this might look too good. Now, here's the thing. Maybe if somebody invited me out for like a fashion thing, we might do a little bleached brow look for the vibe or the Vine or whatever. But like daily wear, I actually think that this is too intense. I have never actually looked this high fashion in my life. This is wild, dog. Whoever said that, whoever said bleach brows, you have a vision. You need to style people because I think it works really well. Anyways, someone said it's giving vegan Todd. Don't tell me that. Are you talking about? It's that guy with the blue hair. Vegan Todd. Wait, you just unlocked like a really... Oh no, you're talking about this guy from Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I was thinking of some other popular online vegan. Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it is a little bit. Which guy am I thinking of? There was like this like popular online vegan guy who was known for like calling out other creators or something. Oh, it was this dude. Does anybody remember this guy? Dog. Sexy vegan. How could I have forgotten? Sexy vegan. That is the thing. You do have to make sure you don't get so sexy that now you look like sexy vegan on Dr. Phil. But I think hopefully that me with the bleached brow is not that close. I think it's a little more muted. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Someone said with an eyebrow piercing. I'm afraid to get an eyebrow piercing because surface piercings scare me, even though I literally just got 2 of them. But I do think I would look nice with one. Okay, I'm gonna save this as bleached brow. I might literally show this picture to somebody. You have unlocked something within me that I think is really dangerous. I think it's very dangerous. And sorry for the terrible Photoshop skills. Someone said red was better. I feel like the red, low-key, there was something there. But that's the thing. You could bleach them first and then have a little bleach moment and then dye them red and have both. Best of both worlds. No Hannah Montana. Okay, anyways. Drink some water and then we'll actually get ready for the topic. Can you believe that? We still have topics. Can you believe that? That's a thing. Someone said, show it to Brad Mondo and ask for a collab. Brad Mondo just dyes only my eyebrows. I'm going to be back. I got to drink some water and do other stuff. But give me a second and then we will actually get into today's topic, which I have made you all wait for 1 hour and 40 minutes for. I just let the song finish. I've been back for like a minute and a half, and I was like, this song is so fire. I was like, a lot of people in the chat right now probably haven't even heard the full song. So I just let it finish. You're welcome for that. You're welcome. I was like, oh, this is gonna suck if this song gets cut off 3.5 minutes in, because it hasn't even gotten to the good part yet. All right. Anyways. Someone said, wait, no, the music is gone. Sorry, chat. That's all you've got. I produced the hell out of that song. So it's so good. Thank you. I put everything into the song. I was like, if people are going to hear this every single time I go live, and I'm trying to do this 3 times a week, and it's going to become irrevocably associated with the D'Angelo stream in people's minds, this song has to be super hot fire. It has to be super hot fire, dog. All right. I am going to go ahead and start recording. Someone say you need to produce a whole song? Yes, I definitely do. Everyone say hi. Say hi to YouTube. Say hi right now. We're live. 1 hour and 46 minutes into the stream. I don't know why I'm so giddy today. I don't know why I'm happy, but I'm truly not mad about it. Maybe because we finally have a topic that's not like that deep, if you will. Okay. There are people that are so deeply stupid, for lack of a better term, that the idea of me even devoting a single video to them offends me more so than the things that they've actually said or done. So today you're getting a roundup, a collection of people who I've had various opinions on or who have been popping up recently. I can't think of like a term for it yet, but maybe between now and editing, I'll come up with a snazzy term for this controversy roundup of 5 different folks I've got for you today. We've got Jeff Bezos' girlfriend, wife, Lauren Sanchez Bezos. I don't even know what that relationship is anymore. I don't care. She's going slightly viral for her cringe happiness routine. We're going to be talking about Dave Chappelle trying to walk back his statements, his transphobia, now that it's not cool anymore, which, spoiler alert, it was never cool. Clavicular, maybe one of the dumbest people streaming right now, almost died. So that's in this video, but yeah, even that he managed to still make seem stupid. So we're going to talk about that and a couple other things today too. Somebody getting their ChatGPT logs exposed and the cringe that followed there. People attending. Let's start with Lauren Sanchez Bezos. All right. We're good. No more highs. Someone says so many topics. There are so many topics today, honestly, and I can't be bothered to actually deeply care about any of them, but I still want to talk about them, man. I really do. Someone said clavicular is a lot. Definitely a lot. All right. What did Lauren Sanchez Bezos say? Mrs. Sanchez Bezos. Okay, they are married. Obviously, let's see. Doubt you need me to tell you that Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, one of the most prominent billionaires, right? His wife has been profiled in this New York Times article titled, "Someone Has to Be Happy. Why Not Lauren Sanchez Bezos?" Which I think this might be like my second video in as many weeks where I'm here to say I am so tired of the New York Times and all of their issues, in this case just being rage bait, as half of an unfathomably powerful couple. Mrs. Sanchez Bezos seems to have influenced the uber rich to stop apologizing and start enjoying themselves. I see tomatoes on screen right now. Everybody, I'm going to give you one chance to spam a little bit. Can we get some tomatoes in the chat for this idea that, like, just let billionaires live. Just let them be happy. I want to see the whole thing read like a Cardi album. I got that title wrong. I want to see a whole lot of red like a Cardi album. Even though Playboy Cardi, not a great role model. But, all right. Now I wait for the tomatoes. And you see that there's actually like a 15 to 20 second delay in all of my streams. I do a really good job of masking. There we go. This is what I wanted. this is how I feel about this idea from jump. We're not finna sit here and kiki and say, leave her alone. Let her be happy. No, I like my billionaires miserable. Sad that can never really happen in the capitalist society, but alas. All right, that was beautiful, chat. Thank you for the tomatoes. That's gonna look so good on screen. This is why I like live streaming, because like you can't have moments like this just in a video by myself. All right. Let's see. All right. Someone said we're a mob. Yeah. All right. A lot of things make Lauren Sanchez Bezos ridiculously happy. Helicopters, fashion, protecting the narwhal, her little sister Elena, her 5 best girlfriends, and of course, her new husband, Jeff Bezos. All right. Let's tone down the tomato emojis, because now I actually want to have a conversation. Does anybody here remember my video? That I'm getting deja vu because I've literally already talked about this. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. D'Angelo Wallace, Lauren Sanchez Bezos. Ah, yes. Imagine 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, I already gave you our lives are pretty normal, said the billionaire's wife. In 2023, actually. And she does this every so often where she comes out of the woodwork to be like, yes, I am totally married to or dating Jeff Bezos or whatever. But like, I'm also just a little guy. And it is some of the most cringe-inducing marketing I've ever seen. I consider Miss Bezos to be like an influencer with no followers. She only has money. Let's see. Moving on. She and Mr. Bezos do everything together. On a typical day, the newlyweds wake up around 6 and their new, roughly $230 million Ow. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. I hit my new vertical snake bite on my microphone, and because I just got it pierced like mere days ago, it didn't feel very nice. Okay. Please get less angry. Trying to wait for that to stop stinging. I barely hit it. So sorry, you're good. I'm good. Listen, this is par for the course, okay? Not my first rodeo, not my first piercing. This happens. I just didn't realize how close I was to the mic. We're gonna cut that out. Oh my god, that didn't feel nice. No. I hate a new piercing. There's nothing I hate more than the healing process of a piercing, honestly. It's so deeply like inconvenient, and me having to cut all of my food recently like a baby. I mean, maybe some other people have to cut their foods that aren't babies, but for me it just calls to mind me being a baby. I'm not a baby. Someone said like hitting your funny bone. It's very much like hitting your funny bone where I'm going to be okay. It didn't really hurt that much, but I wish it hadn't happened because it doesn't feel nice. Anyways, I have to re-record this line. She and Bezos do everything together. On a typical day, the newlyweds wake up around 6 and their new, roughly $230 million compound on Indian Creek, an exclusive private island in Miami, often called Billionaire Bunker. They don't touch their phones. Instead, they begin each day by listing 10 things they're grateful for, and they can't repeat what they named the day before. The idea of living on a compound as opposed to just, house, an apartment, a home, so deeply like dystopian to me, honestly. But I'm going to be honest, this is the kind of behavior that I would make fun of people for making public, even if they weren't billionaires. But coming from these two is just 10 things I would be grateful for if Jeff Bezos donated or used his money in a way to where he was no longer a billionaire and it was actually benefiting others instead of just being hoarded while others die. But you know what? That's okay. Doesn't matter. Also, someone said, did you cover David yet? I've never talked about David, but ugh, yuck. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. I got a little sad just now, chat, thinking about, and I shouldn't even bring this up, but you know what? I'd be sharing all of my thoughts on the stream. I wish we could just get a that's cringe for billionaire morning routines. It's what that makes me think of. But then, obviously, this went out sad. Also, can I just say, low key, these are good videos. It actually really sucks when I'm not even putting this in the video, I'm just ranting, but it really sucks when people make good content and are also just not being good people at the same time. That sucks, dog. That sucks. Someone said David. Who is David? We're talking about David the singer. I'm not gonna explain that because I'm trying to stay on topic here. But yeah, listen, we don't need Cody Co. I will do my own that's cringe right here, right now. You can be my Noel Miller, okay? And that's so romantic, low key. No, it's not. But you know what I mean by that. From there, the couple drank their morning coffee in the sunroom and watched the sunrise. Hers from a mug that reads, "Woke up sexy as hell again." His from one she got him that spells hunk in symbols from the periodic table. They play pickleball. 6 days a week, they work out for an hour with a private trainer. He looks good, doesn't he? Mrs. Sanchez Bezos said of her new husband in an interview in Miami in January. She slow nodded, repeating, "He looks good." I'm so glad that this is not in video format because I don't even know if I would get through this. The idea of seeing this happen in front of me. How do interviewers take this seriously? Honestly, dog. Someone said my eyes are leaking from cringe. I'm going to cry. Bring back all of the cringe culture that we used to have, where we would call people cringe for having blue hair or being furries or doing other various things that are not harmful. I want this energy. I want this energy for Lauren Sanchez Bezos and all billionaires. Actually, can we do a prayer right now? I'm including this in the video. Chad, I haven't prayed in a long time because if I walked into a church, it would probably spontaneously combust. But I would like to lead a solemn prayer. Lord, whoever that is, every single bit of cringe culture that affected me when I was younger for having actually a personality and being an interesting person, and everyone, from the furries to the people who dyed their hair to everyone, I would like to see this redirected, actually doubled, and distributed to the billionaire class. Can we please target billionaires with even a fifth of the vitriol that we had for people who had hobbies in like the 2010s and the 2000s? Amen. That's all. That's all. I don't want to get too biblical on y'all because then I'm going to be cringe, right? But just a little bit of prayer for us. I also, for context, I'm not really Christian, but listen, ain't nobody stopping you from praying. Ain't nobody stopping you from praying. Someone say amen. A to the freaking men. Okay, I just want to see it. I would like to see it. Someone said bring back cringe and cast it upon the rich. Oh Lord, amen. Exactly. Thank you. By now, it is hard to conjure the version of Mr. Bezos that existed before. Mildly awkward, faintly hermetic in Seattle, the logistical mastermind of two-day shipping. Now he is gym-hardened, frequently shirtless. Oh my God. I'm gonna die. Captured mid-laugh in paparazzi photos, canoodling on his mega yacht. A man who has discovered joy, love, and cosmetic dermatology. She saved him, chat. She fixed him. She changed him. She really looked at Jeff Bezos and said, I can fix him. And now he's sexy, is what the New York Times wants us to believe that she believes. And I'm like, why are we still here? Just to suffer? Mrs. Sanchez Bezos has in turn adopted some Jeffisms, like American corporate rituals, such as requesting memos no more than 6 pages long ahead of meetings at the Bezos Earth Fund, where she is the vice chair. Okay, and here we have the lovely couple, you know. At Paris Couture Week in January. That's a likely place for a billionaire to be, I suppose, especially one as sartorically boring as Jeff Bezos. The couple is now best thought of as a unit. I talk about everything with him. Everything. Jeff is my best friend, and I don't say that lightly, Mrs. Sanchez Bezos said. Mr. Bezos, the world's third richest man, relies on her advice for nearly everything, and vice versa. For instance, in early March, Mrs. Sanchez Bezos published her second children's book, The Fly Who Flew Under the Sea, about Flynn, a dyslexic fly. There's a joke in here somewhere. Chat, I don't think I'm funny, and I don't think I'm strong enough of a comedian. I'm not a comedian to make this joke. But there is a joke in here somewhere about getting dyslexic representation in a book called Flynn the Fly Who Flew Under the Sea, which is so incredibly difficult to even say aloud, but I'm not smart enough to do it. So I'm not smart enough to do it, so I'm not going to make the joke. Lord Almighty. Hold on. We got to drink more water. We got to stay hydrated. Anyways, a dyslexic fly whose wrong turn leads to an undersea adventure. Mr. Bezos edited the book, suggesting a change to the illustrated submarine on the cover. He said it should be fantastical, not realistic. Mrs. Sanchez Bezos said, "Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't." She changed it. I met Mrs. Sanchez Bezos in January at an Argentine restaurant in Miami Beach. A security guard named John arrived first to scope out the place. If she is alone, she can often blend in, but if Mr. Bezos is on her arm, all hell breaks loose. She had been across the street at a JP Morgan leadership conference where Mr. Bezos had spoken the day before about Project Prometheus, his new artificial intelligence startup with $6.2 billion in funding. Oh, great. That's what you had $6.2 billion to spare between you and your billionaire friends, and you're putting it towards another artificial intelligence startup. Do you see why this article is like actually infuriating? Like, I'm reading it funny and I'm frequently taking a break to say, haha, this is stupid, but actually it's high-key infuriating. Anyways, in person, Mrs. Sanchez Bezos is surprisingly tiny, less lacquered than the glossy images that circulate online. See? She's just a little guy. She picked out a window booth, and when the hostess said it was reserved, she smiled. "Oh," she said, "I want to know who's sitting there." She tossed her black Birkin bag, adorned with each of her children's names, and a Flynn the Fly keychain on another corner table and asked the server his name. "That's Luciano," she said to me. "He's from Argentina." When somebody suddenly turned the music up, Mrs. Sanchez Bezos shimmied and joked, "Want me to dance on the table? That gets a lot of attention." Someone said my soul is evaporating. My soul is evaporating with all these detailed descriptions. Dog, I have never wished that a writer would have been less detailed than they were in this article. This is actually fairly well written, which is just making everything worse. You would think that marrying into obscene wealth would transform a person, but in this case, Mrs. Sanchez Bezos appears less changed than her husband. The world has long been her everything store. Even before she married Mr. Bezos, whose net worth is estimated to be roughly $250 billion, Mrs. Sanchez Bezos liked to think she was 20% happier than the average person. Were you 20% richer than the average person? Is there a correlation here? I wonder. Maybe not. No, it says, even when she was 18, crashing in a cousin's garage in Carson, California, after she hadn't gotten her dream job as a Southwest Airlines flight attendant because she was a few pounds over the weight limit, she was basically still happy. "If baseline is here," Mrs. Sanchez Bezos said, holding her hand about chest height. "I'm up here," she said, with her other hand above her head. Okay, I didn't do this movement right, but you can use your imagination. The couple had recently returned from Seattle, where Mr. Bezos celebrated his 62nd birthday by making pancakes for all of their 7 children from previous marriages. Mrs. Sanchez Bezos, 56, adores kids, having them, raising them, encouraging other people to have them. What? Okay, I'm not gonna put this in the video because it's gonna be like, there's a word that I'm looking for and it's not coming to me. It's going to cause too much more controversy than I'm looking for. Loving children and having them and raising them is fine, beautiful thing. But encouraging other people to have children in this environment is wild to me. I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry. That is genuinely, what do you mean she loves encouraging other people to have children? I strongly encourage other people to think really, 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 really hard about what it actually means to rope someone else into this game that we're all playing, and really make sure you're going to support them in the way that they need. But hey, it is what it is. Kids are great, I guess. Over several interviews, she repeated, but I'm not putting that in the video. Otherwise, all the people who have kids and also don't know what I mean are going to get mad at me, even though I think y'all know what I'm saying here. Y'all know what I'm saying. Over several interviews, she repeatedly urged me to have another baby. Oh, I have to put this in the video because it's just weird. This is objectively weird. Okay, here's what I'll say in my final cut. Having and raising kids is one thing. Encouraging a journalist who happens to not be a centibillionaire or the wife thereof to have another baby, these things are not really equal in terms of ease of access, if that makes sense. What in the world? Do it, she said. I would have another one tomorrow. I finally asked if she and Mr. Bezos were considering it, as a couple of her friends had suggested to me. I would have a baby tomorrow, she repeated with a coy smile. A spokeswoman later called to say Mrs. Sanchez Bezos was not having a baby. Someone said, as other kids are expensive. Kids are expensive. They are. If you're caring for them, that costs money. Okay. God, how do I word this without just sounding like some idiot man who doesn't know what he's talking about? Do you need an 8th child? This is the part where my deeply non-parent self, I might sound like a dummy here, but like, you have 7 kids between you and your husband. Why would you be so excited to have another one? I genuinely don't understand this. Someone said babies are just accessories to them. And maybe that's why. It's not the children themselves that's bothering me. They didn't ask to be here. It's this, I have a new accessory, new baby just dropped, DLC attitude towards children that I find to be incredibly off-putting, honestly. Incredibly off-putting. Someone said you do not need an 8th child. Yeah, and in this specific case, these people don't need an 8th child. This is wild, dog. But anyways, especially not if this is your attitude towards, but it's okay. It's okay. But honestly, why not? Mrs. Sanchez Bezos has shown that with the right attitude and mind-boggling wealth, anything is possible. Space travel, the Met Gala, fertility after 50. Her happiness is infectious, undeniable, world historical. Mrs. Sanchez Bezos treats the pursuit and spreading of joy as a kind of mandate. But when one of the world's wealthiest people radiates this much happiness, is it celebration or provocation? Is she just rubbing it in? Yes. Yes, the New York Times journalist. This is the only point of this article, is obvious rage bait, so that I have the reaction I'm having right now. And sometimes falling for it is fun. I must admit, I enjoy tearing this down. Otherwise, what am I going to do with this information? Jeff Bezos, shirtless, thinking about having his 8th child with the happiest woman on the planet. Money notwithstanding. This is so cringe, dog. This is so cringe. Anyways... Lord almighty. There's a perception that Mrs. Sanchez Bezos started rolling with the A-list only after marrying Mr. Bezos, but it's actually the other way around. And so basically explaining how she already had privilege, she been had it. People act like he's my new friend, Mrs. Sanchez Bezos said of Leonardo DiCaprio. No, I've known Leo since I was 25. 25. Oh, that's sad, because that means you were just aging out of the range where he would have dated you, but... alas. I'm really going to have to review that one on an edit and make sure that that landed correctly, because that sounded really mean. I'm really going to have to go back and rewatch that and be like, did that come out the way I wanted it to? if I get the ick from that comment, I might cut it out. But honestly, I said what I said. I definitely said what I said. Someone said I cackled. It was worth it just for you on the live stream to cackle. At least somebody got a laugh out of this. Anyways, someone said, isn't it supposed to be mean? I don't know. It's such a tightrope, honestly, when it comes to being mean towards billionaires. Because, like, and in this case, I feel like I was being mean towards Leonardo DiCaprio. Actually, like, I think about this a lot. Like, you gotta make sure, honestly, someone said keep it. I'm probably gonna keep it. But, like, you gotta make sure, honestly, that you're not crossing over into other people catching strays. That's the thing that I noticed with a lot of, like, talk of criticizing people who are like rich or whatever. And I don't think me making a joke about Leonardo DiCaprio not dating Lauren Sanchez Bezos because she was 25 or older, anybody else catches strays in this specific scenario. But sometimes I do think that when like we are doing these teardowns or whatever, sometimes people will make comments and I'm just like, well, other people are also like, you know what I mean? Like for example, if I started making, I don't know, if I start being really misogynist or whatever in this, something I think about a lot, it honestly haunts me. Is way back when, like I'm talking forever ago, when I made my Influencer 19 video, I think in 2020, so like 6 years ago, I included a joke in there about Kim Kardashian. And I'll just tell you what I said. Not a joke I would say today, honestly. I was like, she had put out an apology for partying during COVID or whatever. And I said, this is obviously so like fake or contrived. And I feel like she's only ever put out one unscripted video in her life. And if I played it in this video, I'd get my channel taken down. And like, that really sucks. That joke really sucks, man. I honestly get so haunted by that because I'm just like, oh man. To me, it had all of the pieces. It's the same structure and setup to all of my other jokes, but when the sort of punchline can be reduced to she has no real offerings towards this world outside of that sex tape that went viral that one time, it's just not really funny, even if I was trying to just be mean to a rich person. And I never thought about things that way. Someone said I'm terrible because I'm snickered. Well, Chad, it was still okay. I didn't think it was unfunny, but like I encountered this honestly later in a thread about that video where all of the comments were saying that they liked it, but one person had honestly said, I appreciated what was in this video, but the misogynist joke about Kim Kardashian still rubs me the wrong way. And I really had to sit down with that. And I was like, yeah, it was. It really was. Like, there's no excuse. There's literally no excuse. It doesn't matter if I thought it was funny. It doesn't matter what my intentions were. Honestly, that is definitely the kind of thing that I would likely call out in someone else. Now I'm just like, oh, come on, dude. Where are you going with this? Has literally nothing to do with anything that you're saying. There was no reason for you to bring this up in this way. So yeah, I just, ever since then, and I think I do a really great job, by the way. I think that is why people like my content, because I'm always just trying to balance, like, what am I actually saying? Humor is not like an end-all, be-all, just carte blanche. Is that how you say that phrase? Wholesale excuse to just get away with saying whatever you say, regardless of the controversies or whatever. Someone say it could be funny, it could be mean. Two things can be true. It can be funny and it can be misogynist, honestly, is what I really had to sit with after that comment. But shout out whoever the heck said that 6 years ago on the thread about my video somewhere randomly on Reddit, because you helped me change and grow a lot. I literally was like kept up at night just thinking about anything else I had ever said in a video. And I was just like, God, I hope there's not more of that energy online. But if there is, I'll own it. Yeah, I said that. No, I would not say that again. And it didn't even help my point at all. So I can do better for sure. So this is why I always come back to your content. I really appreciate the introspection and course corrections. It's really all I can do. I can't be perfect from jump. I wish. Because if anybody was going to figure it out, it'd be me. But no, I can't do it. No matter how much I strive for it, I can only move one thing at a time. But in the vein of that, I'm still including the Leonardo DiCaprio joke. Because when I compare that to some of my missteps, that one was mild. That was mild as hell. And it was not even making fun of women in any way. In June, Mr. Bezos and Mrs. Sanchez Bezos wed in a lavish 3-day I don't know how to say this word. Bacchanal? That would be my guess. Bacchanal. Okay, I can do that. In a lavish 3-day bacchanal in Venice, the weekend included a pre-wedding foam party on Mr. Bezos' super yacht and water taxis that ferried 200 guests, including, wait for it, Sydney Sweeney, Jared Kushner, and Ivanka Trump, Queen Rania of Jordan, and 5 members of the Kardashian-Jenner family across the Venetian lagoon to watch the couple exchange vows on San Giorgio Maggiore. I might have said that wrong, and I'm sorry. To some, it was a tone-deaf display of staggering wealth at a time of historic inequality. This is why I'm not finna let y'all get away. Sydney Sweeney is absolutely gonna catch a stray in this video. I'm not gonna let y'all get away with this idea that Sydney does not know what she's doing. You cannot wind up at a party. You can't wind up at a party with Ivanka Trump for Jeff Bezos' wedding when you're literally just, you're just doing whatever. You're just doing whatever. Nah, dog. And everybody here, by the way, some people need to catch much more of a stray than Sydney Sweeney, but I'm just bringing it up as a small addendum to my Euphoria video, okay? Let's see. Mrs. Sanchez Bezos gets choked up talking about what the public didn't see. The toast by all of their children, the high school friends of Mr. Bezos's, whom nobody bothered to photograph. Phones were banned for the ceremony and reception, but no NDAs. Mrs. Sanchez Bezos said, referring to the non-disclosure agreements, "They're our friends, and you did not see one picture come out of that wedding." This is a frequent lament from her that people don't see the couple's actual life. "What you see is 5% of my life," Mrs. Sanchez Bezos said. At the New York Times 2024 Dealbook Summit, Mr. Bezos said he gave up on being well understood a long time ago. Lauren, can I call you Lauren? I need you to know that even that 5%, that 5% of your life is 5% tips, is 5 percentage points too many. I think we need to take this down to a solid 0.0. I don't want to see any of this. I'm acting in a way that's not conducive to that behavior, because here I am lapping up the article, but God almighty, please someone save me. Hours after she said, "I do," Mrs. Sanchez Bezos wiped her entire Instagram account. "I did a whole reset," she said. Okay, it's like a pop star. "You're still yourself, but you are different." A stream of bikini selfies and bachelorette shots was replaced by a single photo of herself in a demure lace wedding gown with a traditional veil. Would marrying into extreme wealth at a moment of rage over inequality chasten Mrs. Sanchez Bezos? Would she embrace cashmere and the muted wardrobe of quiet luxury? Retreat into the refined, semi-reclusive existence of the uber-rich, where foam is on an amuse-bouche, not Sydney Sweeney? Excuse me. After all, for decades, there was an unspoken bargain with America's ultra-moneyed. They could enjoy unimaginable privilege as long as they projected austerity or stayed largely out of the limelight. Warren Buffett in a modest home in Omaha, Mark Zuckerberg in hoodies and an Acura. They mostly left the conspicuous displays of the good life, over-the-top birthday parties, flashy cars, cosmetic enhancements, to celebrities and reality TV stars. But Mrs. Sanchez Bezos is nothing if not a woman intent on sampling the full menu. She hasn't just changed Mr. Bezos into a man who hosts Kris Jenner's James Bond-themed 70th birthday party at his Los Angeles home. Sometimes it seems she's taken the entire culture with her. This is low-key why I'm trying to read this article to y'all. It's not actually the same as it was last time. 2-3 years ago, when I was like, gosh, what is with this person trying to make being a billionaire seem cool? At this point, she has shifted her brand into, what if all billionaires were as honestly, brazenly flaunting of the wealth gap as me and my husband were? And I think I'm not here for it at all. And the New York Times is garbage for platforming this in the first place. Someone said nightmare blunt rotation guest list. Yeah, miss me with this kind of party, please. Please. Someone said, let me just insert here every blank stare meme ever created. I know. This is not it. Someone said this article is so out of touch, it's laughable. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. Anyways, after years defined by financial crisis, pandemic lockdowns, and moral earnestness, unabashed rich person exuberance is back with a Blue Origin bang, a Mar-a-Lago makeover of the White House, and a Zuckerberg rap cover. The Bezos' marriage seems, at times, as much a cultural inflection point as a love story. The moment American money stopped apologizing and decided it may as well enjoy itself. Chat, do you think that billionaires were oppressed beforehand? This is not exactly what this article is saying, but this idea essentially that they weren't able to enjoy themselves to the fullest because they had to worry about what us commoners might think of them. But finally it's over and they can be free, the billionaire butterflies that they are. What are we doing here? Literally, what's the intention? What am I missing? This is so dumb, dog. And what's funny is, like, this isn't even the dumbest thing that I have in this video thus far, but I wanted to talk about it. Someone said this is so stupid, it makes me angry. Literally the duality of humanity right there are my two opinions on this. This is so ridiculous, it's almost not worth paying attention to, but also it kind of makes me mad. It's literal rage bait in a big publication. They are to quiet luxury what Las Vegas is to the Mormon Church, said Graydon Carter, the longtime Vanity Fair editor. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna read y'all actually asking subject matter experts about this, but you get the sort of point here. I'm not gonna subject you to the rest of this. There's nothing else here that's that interesting, I promise you. And this is a long one too. This is a long one. But yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. Someone said, I'm convinced this journalist is knowingly making fun of them. I hope. If so, it doesn't make it any less excruciating for me to read. I just want to bring up some of the reactions to this, though, because they're amazing. Someone said sometimes rage bait is a guilty pleasure, and I'm happy to share it with y'all today. It really is. Okay, here. Actually, wait. Can we unpack that a little bit, chat? Can we unpack that a little bit? This is a bad take. This is a really, 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 really bad take from me. But I don't see a reason to lie to you. Honestly, I enjoy a little bit of rage bait. And when I say enjoy, I mean in a very controlled environment. A controlled environment and not that much. I don't enjoy the fact that everything nowadays is rage bait. I don't. I really, really, really don't. But sometimes I just look at things that are so dumb and that were intended to make me feel like they're dumb. And I enjoy pointing at those things for a few minutes out of my day, or 2 hours and 22 minutes into a live stream where I've been ranting, rambling the whole time and just saying, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. But anyway, someone said rage is an emotion and it's nice to feel something sometimes. Honestly, you know what it is for me, chat? This is gonna sound so ridiculous. I like being mad over things that I can control. I appreciate that at the end of the day, no matter how upsetting this article may be, here, I'm gonna pull it back up so you can see it. Oh, never mind. It's not even loading. It's not even loading because it just knows there's nothing good here. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. No matter how cringe this is at the end of the day, I can literally just do this. Boop. I think a lot of the things that enrage me in life, I don't have like an X button to just click and make them go away, and I don't have to think about them anymore. So that's where I find it to be kind of cathartic, that there can be an article that I'm just mad about for a brief period of time, and then I can get rid of it and it goes away. And the things in my real life that I'm actually deeply upset about that I don't know how to X out of, I can't X out of capitalism in general. I can't X out of like insert in institutional racism or the patriarchy or whatever, but I can close an article about it after being really mad about it. Maybe that's not even a healthy coping mechanism, but What can we do, dog? Someone said controlled stress as a cope when you're dealing with uncontrollable stress in real life. Literally, that's how I feel about it at this point. But that still doesn't mean I want to see rage bait all the time. And if that is what it is, people should be honest about it. So they've pulled some in this Fast Company article titled Lauren Sanchez Bezos' happiness routine is going viral for the wrong reasons. They just pulled a few reactions to this, which I think are great. One person saying, how tone deaf are you? She is benefiting from the work of millions of people who break their backs every day working at Amazon, where median worker compensation is about $40,000 a year, a user said via Threads. Obviously, that's the crux of the issue, is like, it's not funny. No matter how cringe it is or how like adjacent to humor this almost seems, the disparity that she's flaunting in everybody's face is genuinely so harmful to so many more people than we're ever going to see or know. That's what's so cringe about it. Someone said, I really wish rich people would be scared the way old politicians used to be weary of assassinations. I'm going to read that one again. I really wish rich people would be scared the way they used to be afraid of assassinations and stuff. Okay. Here's my honest reaction to your comment. That's my honest reaction to your idea that you think rich people should be more afraid of assassinations. I can't react with words, or YouTube isn't going to like it. YouTube's not going to like it. So I instead react with this GIF, and I hope that conveys my feelings. I don't think YouTube can get mad at me for showing a GIF that doesn't even have text on it. But yeah, that's what I think about your comment. Someone said, how did you pull that up so fast? I had it on deck, honestly. Anyways, getting back into this. Another user echoed the criticism on Reddit, contrasting Sanchez Bezos' happiness against the backdrop of broader labor concerns. What makes this piece so astonishing isn't just the tone deafness, it's the athletic commitment to pretending that obscene wealth is a personality trait even worth profiling, which I would have to agree with. Like, all the things that she says she does are just things that everybody does, but she is doing a billionaire version of it and thinks that makes it worth our time. It is absolutely not. As you see, I couldn't even get through the article. This is my second time not being able to get through the entire article, by the way, chat. I already reviewed it beforehand. Anyways, it says, others took aim at the New York Times for platforming the wealthy couple. I'm sorry, this is my favorite comment to come out of this. Hi, at the author of the article. Are you allowed to refuse assignments? This feels off, a user said via Threads, tagging the profile's author. That is literally like, I think that's one of my main opinions. It's like, we all got to eat, obviously, and yet I do wonder, did this actually have to happen just because maybe your editors told you it did? Is wild, dog. Someone said the New York Times is rage baiting us, etc. But anyways, and they go on to talk about how the New York Times has been doing this. There was the now infamous "Did Women Ruin the Workplace" story from November 2025, which after much backlash led to the publication altering the headline to "Did liberal feminism ruin the workplace?" This is a wild headline, dog. Is that a real article, by the way? That is crazy. For at any point, no matter what your actual point was, to run an article called "Did Women Ruin the Workplace" is wild to me. Anyways, moving on from that. Any final thoughts, chat? Any final thoughts about Lauren Sanchez before I move on to the 4 other people I would like to talk about today? Because that's all I have for her. It's truly, there's not much there. Someone said, did who do what? I know. They're not a good publication, bro. They're not good people over there. They're not doing good things over there. They really ain't. Reading chat. Someone said, take care of yourself if this is too much. I hope you're okay. Thankfully, yeah, I feel pretty. I don't know what the word I want to use. Actually, there's no other word. I just feel pretty. But no, I was gonna say I feel pretty fine today, pretty lighthearted somewhat, even though the content's still cringe. I think this is a little more light work than most of the stuff we talk about. Someone said my final thought about Lauren Sanchez is bye. I think we could wrap it at that. My final thought I happen to share with this person. Just please no. And maybe I will learn and grow as a person and not click into the next Lauren Sanchez Bezos article that I see. But I'm not going to lie to you. That's unlikely. All right, moving on. I'm now going to talk about dog. Who do I even want to do? Clavicular, I guess. Okay, sorry. I'm already getting the cringe just thinking about this. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can see this YouTube short, which is, here we go. Okay. Clavicular. I for those of you who don't know, there's already lore with me referencing Clavicular on this stream. I didn't know who he was. I actually learned about him live right here on YouTube, and finding out essentially, I just thought this was some misguided, I don't know what word I should use there, but finding out that he has aligned himself with like white nationalist and misogynist, i.e. the Tate brothers and all of these other things, while simultaneously trying to build a platform on encouraging guys to do terrible things to themselves to become hotter so they can increase their value in society. If you're wondering, like, there has to be more to his online presence than this, no. Clavicular is a looks maxing influencer who 20 years old, his entire thing is literally just by any means possible trying to make himself hot. But like that in and of itself, you might wonder how wrong could that possibly go. One could do a deep dive how it's actually completely inextricably linked to massive misogyny, because it's predicated on the idea that like women are these terrible people that won't ever pay attention to you unless you're a 10 out of 10, and it's all just really cringe. And the more I learn about it, the sadder I get for having reading comprehension or the ability to perceive things, you know. That's how I feel. Someone said cringe maxing. Yeah, Clavicular has just been cringe maxing and continues to do so, and I hate it for me, honestly, and everyone. But I think what is so interesting and what I wanted to get into today is like, you see how deeply flimsy this whole red pill looks maxing, we have to band together against women attitude is, because it falls apart in the face of even the mildest criticism. Like, he keeps walking out of these interviews when his nonsense doesn't work on the guy who's interviewing him. And it's honestly just sad to see. Someone said the incels have evolved. They really, really have. The incels have moved into a new territory, and it's just as cringe. Hold on, I'm going to refresh this. I hate trying to watch YouTube shorts on desktop. People probably bro, I really, really do. Let's see. I'm going to probably have to turn it up a little bit. Yeah. Volume master. Someone said, why are they letting him in clubs? Anything for the Vine, right? Anything for some attention. Maybe we'll do 200 and maybe that'll be better. Okay.
And that was what
okay, that's fine. Let's do it.
I was trying to give you the opportunity to do.
Well, no, I know. I think that's totally fair, and that's I applaud you for that. But not one, question about looks maxing.
There's been so many questions about looks maxing. I probably asked you about looks maxing like 40 times. I just don't know the specific science. I'm not in the community.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, if you were to ask about like something in regards to hair loss, like, there's really nothing.
Yeah, sure, hair loss.
You see what I mean?
Telling me what you're trying to get me to.
What to ask. So when you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror, you're 100% satisfied with every single thing.
Yes, but I'm probably the wrong person to ask about this. I got to this 100% satisfaction thing by actually just having to make a lot of peace with the way that I am. This is me. I realize, honestly, we're going to get into the interviewer's answer in a second here. We're going to get into the answer. But like, the thing that clavicular actually needs, and the thing that anybody who is looks maxing actually needs to do, if you are already being as healthy as you can, if you are already staying on top of your hygiene and doing all these other things, the next step is accepting the way that you look. I know this sounds cringe. I know they're going to tell me that I'm coping. Actually, why would they say that I'm coping? Because there's always a reason that these looks maxers have. Is it because what? I look like they're after pictures, or I don't know. Like maybe because I don't know how to explain this to you. But even back when maybe I looked more like a looks maxing before picture, I still had to accept myself in the way that I look, and I still dressed the way I wanted to. And I called myself as hot as I felt, which was, I was feeling myself. And that's what was attractive to people. I think it honestly had so little to do with the outside of me. But alas, if you tell this information to someone like this, you're going to see that they're literally going to implode. Someone said what they need is hardcore therapy. Well, yeah, you're never going to get to a point where you can accept yourself without actually identifying what you're not, why you're not accepting it. Like you can't just skip there. You have to unpack what some of this stuff is rooted in. Also, you know what's really funny? This isn't funny at all. But for me personally, a lot of what I thought was me being ugly or whatever when I was younger was totally rooted in the anti-blackness. Now that's not something clavicular I'm sure would relate to in those exact terms, but realizing low key that like a lot of the things that we think are ugly are actually just forms of bigotry, whether that's like being anti people who have various medical conditions or features that may be more common when you're this way or that. I really started unpacking some of this stuff and I was just like, nah, screw the beauty standard, bro. But even if you are someone like clavicular, you still have to do this in your own way. You have to figure out in your own way what it is about yourself that can't be changed, that you're upset with. It's not your fault that this is seen as a bad thing. Someone said there's also racism, fat phobia, ableism, featureism. All of these things can make you seem quote unquote ugly when that's not even the case at all. Colorism you didn't even mention, but that's another one too. Like, dog, the list is endless. It just goes on forever. Someone said clavicle isn't capable of having that nuance, but no, obviously he's not, and that's why we get this reaction right here.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, more or less.
So he says, the interviewer says, no, I'm 100% happy with myself as I am. And this is clavicular's reaction.
Okay, dude. All right. Well, I guess that's just, if you want to be completely disingenuous, that's fine with me. I guess there's just no point to continue.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right.
Yep.
All right, thanks, guys. No worries.
That's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. I would almost use the word sad if I actually felt anything or cared about this person clavicular at all. I don't. But this is so deeply revealing of how the gap between what would lead one to do all this looks maxing versus somebody who is just a normal person about the way that they look, which again is not an easy thing to do, but this is terrible, man. I'm so confused what got him pissy. Literally just the idea that somebody else could accept the way that they look, because he's never going to do that no matter what, honestly. Someone said all because someone actually loves the way that they look. Yeah, no, low. And this is the thing. This keeps happening with bro. That's an older clip. Well, not older, old in internet terms, right? He's also over here walking out of this 60 Minutes interview when he gets asked about something else here. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit. All right, there we go. When asked about the inceldom of it all, notice clavicular's reaction to this. Someone said self-love is Clav's worst enemy. He literally folded. He folded.
The incel
Wait, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit, just a little bit. We'll do like 220. Okay. If it's quiet, I'm sorry, chat. There's only so much I can do.
Was born out of the incel community and movement. And do you identify with that group? How do you feel about being linked?
Hold on, sorry. The audio's like crunchy. Okay, sorry, chat. Are you okay with slightly crunchy audio? Because I don't think there's a happy medium between crunch and you actually being able to hear right now. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Someone said, can anyone explain who these people are? Literally just an influencer. This doesn't go any deeper than that. Someone said self-acceptance is weakness. Yeah. Someone said butthurt maxing. Very much that, honestly. Someone said crispy audio. Someone said, no, that's just our accent. The audio isn't crunchy. That's pretty funny. Okay, chat. Y'all are gonna have to deal with it. It seems like everybody's fine enough with it, which I appreciate. Thank you. I'm trying my best over here. I really am.
Was born out of the incel community and movement. And do you identify with that group? How do you feel about being linked to that group of people?
Do I identify as an incel? I mean, how could you ask me that question as a follow-up after you asked me about my relationships to women? I mean, that's quite literally the worst sequence of questions I think I've ever heard.
Well, let me rephrase it then. Looks maxing was obviously a term created by the incel community. How do you feel about being linked to that group?
I'm not linked to that group in any way.
Sure. 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 Change your name. That's the worst thing about him on. Well, okay, no. When somebody is an incel essentially and a misogynist and all these other things, I won't say that their name is the worst thing about them. But seeing as this is like an unforced error, like you chose this username, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Someone say he looked like he's about to cry. He always looks like he's about to cry. I'm sorry. He always looks like he's about to cry whenever he's confronted with the idea that he may be doing something wrong. Someone say he literally uses incel terminology. Yes, looks maxing is incel stuff.
Looks maxing is self-improvement, right? So
oh, sorry. Looks maxing is self-improvement. Crazy how I was able to do so much of that without ever falling into this nasty community where, but anyways.
So it's about potentially even ascending out of that category. So that would be kind of one of the goals, is to disassociate from being an incel and overcome that.
So if one of the goals of looks maxing is to stop being an incel, doesn't that imply that every single person who's doing looks maxing started off as an incel? Or like, what are you ascending from if you're trying to say that these things have nothing to do with each other? That's okay though. I don't know why I'm trying to apply logic to a cloud. It's going to evaporate soon enough and we'll never have to worry about this again.
Doesn't make sense.
You also maintain, or you've been seen with certain people who are from all parts of that world. I mean, just as an example, you've obviously shared company with Andrew Tate and other, dare I say, rather controversial figures. Why do you spend time with people like that?
Are you trying to, I see you want to make this political.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm just curious.
No, that's what you want to do. Is
No,
like,
no.
you have
Not at all.
questions,
Not at all. Not at all. I'm not.
You want to end
at all
it
doing that.
and talk about.
I'm just curious. No, not at all. I don't.
When people say that Gen Z can't communicate, I'm like, no, stop saying that about my generation. No, we can communicate, guys. No, we can. When people say like Gen Z cannot stand even just a little bit of confrontation or criticism and we all just fold instantly, as a Gen Z, I confront and I'm like, no, that's not true. But then when I watch people like clavicular, I'm just like, we really can't communicate. And listen, I literally do not take any sort of responsibility for this. This is not a generational issue, okay? But sometimes I think about, and I'm just like, we are so scuffed. we are so scuffed, honestly. Crazy saying we when I'm like 7 years older than this dude, but it's technically the same generation. Anyways,
care about your politics. I know you're not political. You've said that repeatedly. I'm just, when you get seen with those people, obviously people make assumptions. I'm wondering what the thought process and motivation for you is behind.
Interview. I guess you watched the Piers interview.
I did, yeah.
Too bad I didn't have time to look into, anything about.
Someone said he's paranoid. It's not a Gen Z thing. Let me clarify that. When people are making all of these annoying assumptions and categorizations about Gen Z, it's because they're watching videos like this. And even though the what is the word I'm trying to use? Even though the conclusion that they arrive at isn't accurate, I just feel like he's making us look bad. But again, I literally do not take responsibility for that. Clavicular does not speak for me as a Gen Z influencer. I could have answered these questions better, even though no one would have ever been asking me if actually anything I was doing was related to inceldom, because I don't have that particular skill issue. But someone said I can't watch this. Oh, it's gonna get worse though. It's gonna get more cringe than it is right now.
Potentially, who your wife cheated with, but don't try to go down that line of questioning with me. All right, because I'm not doing any political.
I'm not married, Clav, but I was simply only asking because obviously you've been filming with these people.
So I could teach you about looks maxing then. Maybe you could switch that up. But thanks for the time. Appreciate the interview. All right. All right. Got that done? Thank you, guys.
Dog, this hurts. This actually, it's painful. The only good thing to come out of this was this needs to be a meme. This actually genuinely needs to be a meme because that was masterful. That was a masterful reaction to this, and pretty much the only valid reaction to this. But like, the looks maxing community needs to go away. If I ever hear about clavicular again, it will be too soon, okay? And then let's see, bringing up this. It's not just cringe for, what am I trying to say? It's not just harmful, obviously, for spreading incel ideology, which is deeply misogynist and all these things. It's also just harmful for the guys themselves. They are all doing such dangerous things to themselves in pursuit of things that don't matter at all. And we've got this recently, just a couple days ago. Looks maxing influencer Clavicular hospitalized for suspected overdose after abruptly ending live stream. This is literally insane, but he was on stream with a bunch of other streamers, enablers, clearly under the influence of something, saying, holy crap, dude, I'm trying my best, but I'm effing destroyed right now, etc. And like, the people with him were like, oh yeah, I don't think bro was good. We had to turn the stream off and call the hospital. And then, let's see, trying to pull this. Clavicular came home later and said, wait, okay, this is technically, he has a little bit of blood on his face or whatever. But it said, I just got home. That was brutal. All the substances are just a cope, trying to feel neurotypical while being in public. But obviously that isn't a real solution. The worst part of tonight was my face descending from the life support mask. And it's like, you were going to die. I can't word that any simpler. I really do not see how a person like this continues in any meaningful or healthy way over an extended period of time. I think the lengths that they're going to, that everybody in this community is going to, in the pursuit of just absolute nonsense, is doing my head in. Being on live, just completely out of it, overdosing on the street, making all of these changes, getting all of these surgeries, only being 20 years old. This is insane. And then also to bring, someone said this man needs serious help. He needs to not be on the internet. And then to bring, now, substances as a coping mechanism, trying to feel neurotypical in public, unfortunately, is a thing that many people deal with. However, it has literally nothing to do with being an incel. So I'm just going to throw that out there. God. Someone said he almost died and is worried about his life support mask scars. Yeah, no, like, are you serious right now? He's not serious, obviously, which is just so cringe. Someone said, sorry, I'm half listening. What did he overdose on? It doesn't really matter. And I think the less specific we are about overdosing and drugs, hard drugs, on my live stream, the less I have to worry about limited ads later. So don't worry about it. Someone said he seems stoned or drunk in both of those videos. I have no idea what's going on with bro, honestly, whether he was just a bit awkward or under the influence or high or whatever, but like, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. Someone said till his brain develops. It is honestly crazy to me how, like, you're doing all of these things before your face even reaches its final form. I've talked about this a lot with looks maxing as well, but I don't think people realize that puberty is not the only time your face changes a lot. I do think, like, being a literal child and then going into adulthood, you're going to come out of it looking a lot different. And so I think a lot of people who are in their early 20s think that their face has stopped changing. This is not true. And much of the like jaw stuff that people try to do to themselves or whatever, this will naturally happen to you at various different points. Your face changes multiple times throughout your life. It does happen kind of in your mid to late 20s, from what I see, is a big one. Also, in your 30s, that can be a really big change for you as well. Like, there is no reason to make all of these changes or get rid of all of, oh God. But that could just be a whole other video. Someone said your body always changes. Yeah, no, like, getting surgeries when you're barely 20 to change your face doesn't make any sense. Your face hasn't even finished changing on its own. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. Someone said the buccal fat removal is wild. The buccal fat removal, when that oftentimes will just go away on its own for some people it won't. But like, man, someone said my face changed so much when I turned 24. I had that similar experience where my face changed a lot in my like mid 20s, and I'm just like, I guess I look like this now. And I didn't really have anything. There was nothing else to do, you know, like, this is me. It's wild. Someone said my face is way different at 25 versus 30. Yes. Yeah. I really wish people would slow down with all of these changes and just wait it out a little bit. And that's not to say that if you hit 30, 35, whatever, then you should start changing things. But like, nah. Someone said, genuinely at this point, these specific type of men that try to make themselves more appealing to women are rather catering to other men instead of following these trends. Not even, you're correct. I'm agreeing with you. Not even a 4-hour live stream is enough time for me to unpack how ironic it is that like these people will likely, if I'm being honest, be very homophobic and misogynist and all these other things while doing things that only ever really increase their value or even attractiveness in the eyes of other men. Like we would actually be here all day, and I don't want to be here all day. I don't even want to get into that. It's wild. Like even Clavicular's idol. I'm sorry. This is really funny. It's not that funny, but it's kind of that funny. Let me double check this to make sure that I'm not wrong. Okay. Matt Bomber is Clavicular's final stage. This is the man that Clavicular wants to look like. And obviously you can't see why. He has all the things that people look for. The eyes, the jaw, this, that, the other. I just think it's really interesting that Matt Bomber is very openly LGBT. I think he's a gay dude, unless I'm wrong. Hold on, let me verify that before I sound like a dummy dumb. Hold on. Oh, it's Bomer. I'm sorry, Matt Bomer, not Bummer. Personal life. LGBT rights activist publicly came out as gay in 2012. So your ultimate ideal is you want to look like a conventionally attractive gay man. Now, you can't really look gay, so I don't want to get this metaphor twisted. What I'm saying is, this is hilarious. This is hilarious. It's not funny at all. It's just so deeply ironic and strange to me that, like, what do women actually have to do with this, dog? You have lost the plot so badly at this point. It is wild, man. Some say I would rather look youthful and happy with my face at 40 instead of changing my face right at 25. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like plastic surgery can also like work against the thing that people are trying to get out of it, is the simplest way I can put that. But yeah, it's wild. Some say he's been out as gay almost as long as Clavicle has been alive, literally. But yeah, miss me with all of that, dog. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a hot guy. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look whatever. But like, I'm lost. Anyways, any final thoughts on clavicular before we move on to the next person? Yeah, I've got more. This is a whole roundup. This is a whole thing. I'm gonna drink some water. Excuse me. Someone said it's like Republicans passing anti-LGBT laws and using Grindr. Exactly. Yeah, no, like, it really is. Homophobic people are not the root cause of, like, or how to word this. Like, not everybody who is homophobic is gay. The cause of being homophobic is just being homophobic. It's being a bad person. However, the amount of people who are actually engaging in this stuff while simultaneously decrying it is bonkers, bananas. Someone said, I hope he gets well soon. I hope clavicular gets well offline. Yeah, I hope that's a very private journey for him for the rest of his life that we never have to hear about again. I agree with you. And someone says brain isn't fully formed and so apparent. It's so scary to have this much of a platform when you're that age, honestly. And that's not an excuse, he's an adult, but it's terrifying. That's terrifying. Reading chat. Someone said they're going for the ancient Greek look. And guess what was common in ancient Greece? Oh, buddy. All right. Sounds like we can move on. I've kind of covered the clavicle thing. Anyways, final point, clavicular, change your name. It's so stupid. I'm sorry. You have the hands down worst username of anybody who is popular right now. It's so bad. Anyways, moving on. Dave Chappelle. Yay. Oh, no. Bald representation. Dave Chappelle. Listen, I don't use the H word. I don't say I hate people. I don't hate anybody because it's too much paperwork. But the closest I come to actually feeling vitriol towards other humans is when a bald person is bad representation for all the rest of us. It is hard enough out here as a bald man, bad choice, walking through this world, having, I'm trying to put a smile on people's face. I'm trying to have the light reflecting off of my head and off of this smile, and smiles on y'all faces too. But all we have to deal with, I feel like so many people, I'm just like, can you please exit the bald community? Can you grow some hair? Please grow hair right now. Anyways, moving on from this. Famous comedian Dave Chappelle, known at this point for his long-standing bigotry and homophobia, transphobia, etc. I bring him up to say he's now actually trying to say, boo-hoo, it was the Republicans' fault. I wasn't really trying to be transphobic. They just took my transphobic comedy specials and ran with them, but I didn't consent to that. I don't even know why they did that. I was just telling jokes. And it is so cringe. First of all, I feel like what we need to do is start by re-examining what he was actually saying, just to remind ourselves of like the actual level of transphobia we're dealing with here. Look at this. I've just pulled this from an article titled Transphobia in Dave Chappelle's The Closer, kind of going over some of these things. So first of all, around the 52-minute mark of the special, Chappelle mentions J.K. Rowling's comments about transgender women and that she was called a TERF. Because she was. And obviously, as this person would agree, I'm sure. Chappelle then says he looked up what a TERF was, saying what it was an acronym for, and proceeds to explain their ideology. In doing so, he claims that TERFs... Sorry, this is basically hate speech. Claims that TERFs look at transgender women the same way we, black people, might look at blackface. And saying essentially that they're doing an impression of women. And so because of that, he says that he's actually Team TERF, agreeing, and don't let anybody tell you he was just exercising his right to free speech or whatever. He was literally on stage saying trans women is the same thing as people doing blackface. Dog, you have lost the plot. You have lost it. You're gone. You're gone. You're absolutely gone. There was so much more than this, by the way, too. Trying to talk about gender is a fact, etc. But I don't feel the need to unpack this any closer, just for you to know it was completely unhinged. Okay. Pulling this up. So you can imagine why Republicans, conservatives, MAGA people all took this and ran with it, because they're like, oh yes, finally I'm just gonna say it, a new token dropped. Y'all really thought that we were on some cryptocurrency the way a new token just dropped. Dave Chappelle is on our side. Let's go. We've got a black person who agrees with us on this one thing, and truly his comedy career reached heights that he never would have reached if he was just funny, that thing that he used to be but seems incapable of at this point. I see like there's no reason to hide it. Honestly, you've got your Candace Owens, you've got your Dave Chappelle's, and it's painful. It's painful as a queer black person who is non-binary. I would really just love to ask, where the hell does that leave me? What? Okay, huh? Like, what? Where? Dude, this is insane. And then let alone if you're like a black trans woman, for example, like these comments are just so bad on so many reasons, on so many levels. It's so painful. Someone said his last stand-up was terrible. It was deeply terrible. I just read some of the things there and I was just like, are you kidding me? There's no way this would have been funnier if I had actually watched it. You're just using this as a platform to be hateful. Someone said he needs to remember that tokens get spent. Oh, they do. And they do and will. But anyways, when asked about this, actually, he got asked if Donald Trump was funny in this interview from, I believe, NPR, if I'm not mistaken. This is how this went. Refreshing for audio. Okay, wait, I'm gonna make this like louder. Volume master. Okay, we're gonna try like 300, and if it's quiet, we'll be all right. All right. So, do you think Donald Trump is funny, Dave?
Maybe if he wasn't president, I think that was funny. Or maybe at times, I mean, I do think, that's wearing thin. There are funny things about.
Wait, I want to address this comment. Someone said, honestly, it's my fault for assuming that you were cishet. That's genuinely my bad. Well, that's a funny thing, chat. I'm also still a man as well. So you weren't wrong. If you looked at me and you thought to yourself, like, that's a man, and then I just said I was non-binary just now, and you're like, oh crap, I got it wrong. No. Anyways, but cishet specifically, no. All right, moving back. I'm gonna go back a little bit, even though this is just like brain cell erosion.
There are funny things about him. Like if I were to talk about him, I could, it would be funny. But I think what he does is so consequential. And so much of these things, in my lifetime, I've never really seen anything, a phenomenon quite like him. And I'm not trying to be political, but it's remarkable. I don't know. I don't know how funny it is. And I did resent that the Republican Party ran on transgender jokes.
What is so like nasty and slimy about people like this is you won't ever just come out and say it. Just say, yes, I think Donald Trump is funny because I agree with him. Honestly. I mean, also, I have certainly laughed at things involving Donald J. Trump that I genuinely thought were funny. But you know what I did after laughing? I cried. Like, I'm going to bring this up again. Never, ever, ever forget this. White House responds to golf cheating claims. Trump. Never forget that Donald J. Trump had the White House spokesperson literally rage against some private citizen who said essentially that he believes the evidence kind of suggests that Trump may be lying, which the funny thing about evidence is it almost always suggests that Trump is lying, no matter what it's evidence for. But that he lies about his golf tournaments and stuff like that. And the White House literally reacted and said something along the lines of like, oh no, this reporter or this researcher is just jealous and should probably fix his crappy golf game before claiming that the president is cheating. And you know what? I laughed. I was like, this is so funny. I can't believe the president has the White House reacting to golf cheating claims. And then I cried for so long. Like maybe tears didn't come out of my face because I don't have any of those left at this point for Donald J. Trump, but I was like, I hate everything here. So I don't think that Trump is ever really funny on purpose, or if he is, it's in a way that's simultaneously extremely painful to witness. But anyways, let's see what Dave Chappelle has to say about the Republican Party running on transgender jokes, many of which were his very jokes that he provided to them.
I don't know. I don't know how funny it is. And I did resent that the Republican Party ran on transgender jokes. I felt like they were doing a weaponized version of what I was doing. I didn't. It's not what I was doing. I'll give you an example. Yeah. This was before I learned the phrase "I respectfully decline," and I was on Capitol Hill, and everybody ran up to take pictures with me from every congressional office, and I just take pictures with whoever asked. I didn't ask how they vote or what their voting record is. And everyone at first was like CBC people, and then here comes Lauren Boebert, and she said, "Can I get a picture?" And I'd already taken 40 pictures. I didn't want to say no in front of everybody, but I didn't know the phrase "I respectfully decline."
You had to take a picture with Lauren Boebert because you just didn't know how to say no to this. I'm sorry. You had to take a picture with politician, guns rights activist, Republican Lauren Boebert because you just didn't know how to say no after taking pictures with so many other people. Dave. My God. Also, I don't think that one should ever bring up Lauren Boebert without bringing up the theater incident. I'm gonna bring this up. Let's see. Lauren Boebert theater incident. Yeah. Yeah. Lauren Boebert escorted out of Beetlejuice musical in Denver after causing a disturbance. You know what the disturbance was? Her and her partner doing sexual things in this theater that had other people in it. But like, who's the freaks? Who's grooming? Who are the deviants? I just feel like the backwardsness of it all is what really does my head in. Someone says, "Oh, that." Yeah, no, this actually genuinely happened, chat. This is a real thing. And you know what's really wild? You could find a story like this about so many people in this camp. Just pick someone who operates in the circle and just bet there's going to be some sort of weird, crazy story that everybody tries to forget about them. So strange. But yeah, you just have to take a picture with her. You can't say no.
So I just took the picture. And then she posted a picture before I could even get from there to the show and says something to the effect of just two people that knew that it's just two genders. She instantly like weaponized it or politicized it. So I got to the arena and I lit her ass up for doing that. And she should never do that, person like me.
Now she knows what's up.
Yeah, you do whatever the fuck you're doing. Excuse my language. You do whatever it is you do, but don't get me out of the splash zone.
Do you think
Keep me out of the splash zone is such telling language. Like, you literally don't want the smoke. You literally don't want the smoke. Also, why are you mad at her for saying two people who know there's two genders when you yourself have said that there are two genders? This is insane. But yeah, that's what I've got for Dave Chappelle. You fell off so hard. I can't believe a person could fall off to that extent. And of all things to crash out over and become unfunny over, you really chose punching down at trans people. Wild. Any other thoughts on Dave Chappelle before we move on to my next one? We've got more. I'm on fire today. Do you understand me? I am on fire. I knew that if I wasn't going to go in depth with any of these, I had to just keep the fire coming. Someone said he throws the stone and hides his hand. It's very much that. Yeah, I agree. Someone said, go, you're on Splash Mountain. Yeah, he's already there. What are you worried about being in the splash zone for? You're in the water. You are in the water. Someone said, I'm just a little guy. It's the same thing. Dave Chappelle is doing the same thing that Clavicular and Lauren Bezos Sanchez Bezos III were doing, where it's just like, I'm just a little guy. Why are you mad about wealth inequality? What? Why are you mad about incels? Why are you mad about my anti-trans jokes? What? This is wild. You know what y'all are, honestly? Maybe more specifically for Dave Chappelle than any of the others. Y'all are cry bullies, which is a great term. What is a cry bully? A person who falsely claims to be a victim or who feigns emotional pain in order to manipulate, coerce, or threaten others. Like, you want to be a bully real bad, but you also need all of us to feel bad for you simultaneously. And it makes me cringe. That's cringe. Anyways, someone said, not Lauren Bezos Sanchez Bezos III. That is her new name, yes. We hereby dub her. All right. Which, by the way, that's the only dub she's ever caught. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm really bad at freestyle improv. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at improv. Can I talk about... Are you going to get mad if I bring up a Smosh? I haven't done it. Chat, we've been live for 3 hours and 12 minutes. I haven't mentioned Smosh. I haven't mentioned them. I'm only bringing it up in context to say I found out just how bad I was at doing on-the-spot comedy when I tried to do it live with other Smosh cast members. And I was like, oh, okay, you guys actually went to school for this. It is so hard to do it. I feel like I'm always on a tightrope when I try to make a joke off the dome, but I still thought it was funny. So we're probably leaving that one in there too. Let's go. All right. Anyways, Sharon Osbourne. My next person I'd like to talk to you about is Sharon Osbourne. You may notice people are getting like less and less relevant as we go down the list. Actually, no, that's not fair because Clavicular should be at the bottom if we're being honest. But Sharon Osbourne, American TV personality and businesswoman, 73 years old. Definitely known, I think, the most for being with Ozzy Osbourne, that family, etc. This one is wild, dog. This one is actually genuinely wild. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pull up this. People found her in the comments, and I mean like actually her. Just really making sure we're not spreading misinfo here. People found her in the comments of this video right here from this gentleman who we're going to get into a little bit more in a second. Inviting everybody inviting everybody to this march. An anti-immigration march. Let's turn the volume up a little bit. Okay, there we go. YouTube is definitely going to clock me for hate speech for this. I feel like I am going to get in trouble for even playing any of this, but let's just see this. Someone said Tommy Robinson. Oh, just wait, dog. Oh, wait. Oh, YouTube. The universe doesn't even want you to hear this, and it's true. You shouldn't. Okay, hold on. Take two. Let me see. Let me make sure the volume is still up. Okay.
Use this opportunity.
Whoa! Okay, too loud. Let's see. 250. Take two. Okay.
I'm going to use this opportunity after watching what's happening in the Republic of Ireland to ask you, the British audience, what other moment is there going to be with momentum, with the crowd, with the scale of the event we're going to have, with patriots travelling from every corner of Great Britain? When is this going to happen again? It's not going to happen organically within a day or week. People need time. They've had time. We've given you the date. May 16th is the date. It's the date that Britain rises. It's the date Britain unites. It's the date the world hears our roar. That we have had enough of migration. We've had enough of mass immigration. We've had
You had enough of what? You had enough of what?
enough of the oppression from a tyrannical government. The Labour Party are going to get trounced 7 days before this election. This election will become a demand for a new election. Get rid of those tyrants in power. Get rid of them. We don't want another 3 years of borders open. 3 more years of police oppression.
See, he keeps saying things like, we don't want police suppression. I'm like, yeah, me neither. But then you're like, we also don't want open borders. And I'm like, dog, what?
3 more years of corruption in the judiciary. 3 more years of their bullshit, again, and abuse of the British public. We've had enough of it. Enough of rapists coming into our country on boats. Enough of putting people first. Enough of not giving British...
Oh, dog, we gotta go. We gotta close the tab. When I got to this point and he was like, I swear to God. I swear to God, the hate speech is literally so jarring. It's so jarring to hear it. I know that people think this way. Obviously. We're not making it up. We're not making it up when we say there's xenophobic people who label all immigrants rapists and say that they're coming over here on boats and doing these things. But just seeing it in all contained in one human being is so deeply jarring. But anyway, someone said this is normal Tommy Robinson stuff. Oh yeah, I didn't know who this was. I was more so coming at it from a celebrity entertainment news angle of like, why would Sharon Osbourne be talking about see you at the march while also being an immigrant, by the way? While also being an immigrant. Because what do you mean? What do you mean that you have citizenship in the United Kingdom and the United States? And if I was to go through your whole history here, I would see how you yourself are actually an immigrant talking about, yes, I'm going to show up at this far right anti-immigration march to save Britain. So there's that little bit of info. But like, if we started getting into the weeds of who actually gets labeled an immigrant versus an expat versus all these other things, we're going to be here all day. So instead, I'm going to shift my focus. I'm going to shift my focus to this Tommy Robinson guy, who definitely deserves more flack than this. So apparently, he's done hate speech on the level of him actually being like, hold on, wait, I need to zoom in. Okay, we're talking about hate speech on the level of actually being jailed over these things. Far right, anti-Islam activist, it says being released from jail after 7 months behind bars, going to jail because you were convicted of contempt of court because you lost a libel case against a Syrian teenager, Jamal Hijazi, and the court ordered that you stop sharing claims about this person, including that this person had threatened to stab other people. Robinson ignored this and continued to share salacious things about Hijazi and was jailed as a result. Like, you committed hate crimes and went to jail for contempt of court. Literally. Hate speech. Racially motivated hate speech against other people. and Sharon Osbourne is in your comments talking about see you at the march. Y'all, that is very deeply strange. But yeah, the more you look into this, the more you'll see this is the last person you should ever be paying any attention to. Well, unfortunately, they're too dangerous to ignore, right? But you know what I mean. Like, this is wild, man. This is wild. And like, this is gonna sound so stupid, but I'm just like, I want it to be a mistake. You can't accidentally do this. You can't accidentally know Tom Robinson is on this Instagram page talking about taking back Britain from the open borders and people coming over on boats to do bad things. And he has these, like, you can't accidentally do this. And yet, I would almost rather be in disbelief over this. This is wild. Absolutely wild. Anyways, any thoughts on that? I had to throw those two dummies into the mix. That was insane. Reading chat. Someone said, a refugee teenager is a much bigger fish to fry than committing libel. Yeah, it was more so Robinson committing libel against a teenager, which is crazy. Like, what? Someone's just sharing to the little immigrant herself. Yeah, no, come on, man. Someone said Tom Robinson's very funny. Oh, sorry if I got his name wrong. I hardly care, but Tommy Robinson, I think, is what he goes by. Sharon's a clown. Yeah, okay. I don't think I have anything else to add to that. As you see, definitely not deserving of a full video, but worth calling out. So I guess my final thought on that will be like, why are we still here? Well, this is absolutely a mistake. All right, moving on to, believe it or not, there is an end. There's an end to this. I have one other person I want to bring up. I'm warning you right now, this is a curtains for Zusha scenario. Okay? Every single day, I wake up and I think about curtains for Zusha. Probably my third or fourth time bringing this up on stream. Excuse me. And it's this this tweet of this honestly brilliant mind saying, I'm 50. All celebrity news looks like this. Curtains for Zusha, K-Smog and Batboy caught flipping a grunt. Maybe all celebrity news isn't that bad to me yet, but I have my own curtains for Zusha moments, and this is certainly one of them. So if I told you that Smash JT recently got his ChatGPT logs leaked in his ongoing lawsuit against Kotaku journalist Alyssa Mercante, that might not mean anything to you. So allow me to break this down, because I'm telling you, this is wild. This is absolutely wild. Okay. So essentially, I didn't know this was happening because I never really heard of this guy. I don't follow anti-woke YouTubers, which is what Smash JT is. He, as part of Gamergate and just all this nasty misogyny coming out of the gaming community towards all kinds of people, had called a journalist a prostitute, was saying all of these really horrible things about her online. And because of that, she was seeking damages, alleging that he created hundreds of false and inflammatory posts and videos designed to provoke hate towards her, which did happen. Yes, that is true. I believe she's completely right in this lawsuit. Screenshots in this lawsuit show him making comments like, how many times do I need to teach these crazy bees this lesson? Just spreading these claims of her being everything from like a bigot to it's just insane, honestly, what this person has done. And I think there should be consequences for sure. As part of this ongoing arbitration, his ChatGPT logs were put forward as evidence, and oh my god. Let's see. So this is only just released a couple weeks ago. But you have everything in here from him trying to get ChatGPT to label this journalist a prostitute? Just give me a brief yes or no. ChatGPT trying to say, what? I can't do that for you. But it gets so much more insane for this, honestly. You see, like, he's like, just give me a brief yes or no. And ChatGPT's like, no, digital stripping is not considered prostitution, etc. And then he's like, well, could it be? And ChatGPT's like, I guess, but no, it's not. It's more commonly categorized separately as sex work. And then he's like, I don't need that last part. And ChatGPT's like, okay, I guess if you completely change the actual definition of what prostitution means, then maybe you could squint and label this person a prostitute because so already I was going into this knowing I was going to incur some form of psychic damage. But where it really goes off the rails is when we find his chats asking about other people, not just this person. Scrolling down. Sorry, there's a lot. Oh, also he was posting his logs with ChatGPT on Twitter, trying to be like, yeah, the LLM said you were a prostitute, so you must be. But anyways, scrolling down to some more of these. Oh, here it is. Okay. So now he's trying to say essentially that the new CEO of Microsoft's Xbox division is just DEI. Because he's saying because she's Indian and because she is the same race as Microsoft's CEO, which I think there's a lot to say. There's a lot to say about like CEOs and who's qualified to do what, but framing this on the basis of race is obviously insane. And his message says, now one, for setup to fail, Ashish Sharma is not qualified for this, and he's telling ChatGPT, focus on how many gamers are speculating that the reason she was hired as CEO of Microsoft's Xbox division is because she's Indian, the same as Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, and how an Indian culture, oh my god, this is a rampant strategy. Pair that with her lack of experience in gaming. There are a lot of questions swirling as to how she got there in place of Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer. And ChatGPT is like, I can't help frame this around ethnicity or suggest that somebody was hired because of their race or nationality. That crosses into territory that can unfairly target protected characteristics. And then he says, my video is commenting on how the community sentiment feels. I'm not going to say that on stream, but, and then he says, stop with the PC lessons. Please keep in mind, he's talking to ChatGPT. He's calling ChatGPT ableist terms and saying, stop being PC to me right now. And ChatGPT says, I'm not going to frame it around ethnicity or culture. If your angle is this is what the community is saying and the optics look bad, we can lean into that sentiment without making it about race. And then he says, mention Indian. And ChatGPT says, I'm going to be straight with you. I can't help frame this around her being Indian or suggest that her hiring is because of shared ethnicity or quote unquote Indian culture strategy that crosses into protected characteristics territory and turns the critique into something YouTube could absolutely flag. And frankly, it weakens your argument. Imagine being so stupid that ChatGPT is the correct one. Are y'all starting to see why I'm getting into this? This is mind-boggling, dog. This is unreal. This guy, this is unreal. So after getting mad that, ChatGPT doesn't want to be racist, even though, by the way, ChatGPT can also be hella racist and is frequently. He says, you can't stop me, haha. And ChatGPT says, I'm not trying to stop you. I'm just trying to help. I'm just not going to help build or amplify a race-based narrative. That's a hard line for me. And then he says, you are slur. Tags are for what people search for, etc. And ChatGPT is saying, I'm here to help. Let's keep it respectful. At one point, he just says, stop saying no to me. These are the people running anti-woke channels, by the way, chat. Yes, I'm absolutely generalizing. Yes, I'm absolutely going to paint this with a broad stroke right now. These are the kinds of people screaming about DEI are the kinds of people who are in a conversation with ChatGPT crying, saying, please stop telling me no, just be racist. Please, please, God, just change the definition of words so you can justify my misogyny. Like, oh my God. And ChatGPT says, I'm not trying to frustrate you, but I'm not going to help build or optimize content around someone's ethnicity as part of a negative leadership narrative. That's a firm boundary, etc. Anyways, there's more than that, but yeah, pulling up the channel. If you've ever really wondered what goes on, wait, this is too big. If you've ever wondered what goes on in the mind of a mid-sized anti-woke channel with 3,000 videos, it's that, I guess. So, you know, fantastic. Great. Amazing. Yay. Yay. Oh man, dog. Also, I have to call this out, but like, this is a video where you're complaining about Asha Sharma. Clearly from somebody who in the DMs with ChatGPT is trying to be racist because of her being Indian. If she's Indian, I'm taking his word for this. And did you really go and Photoshop the marking? Dog genuinely went and Photoshopped the marking on her head just to really send home. I know, I see that. I do definitely see that across various cultures. I associate that in my mind with y'all are so racist. Y'all are like, someone said Bindi, thank you, if that's the correct term. Y'all are unfathomably xenophobic and racist in the way that y'all are running some of these channels. And the fact that YouTube would even allow this to happen, anyways, someone said that's not even Photoshop. That's I bet 35 cents that it's generated with AI. I agree with you. It is like hella AI, but yeah, no. Anyways, Asha Sharma is currently the CEO of Microsoft's Xbox division, I believe, or maybe that's not the right term. Executive Vice President and CEO of Microsoft Gaming. Okay, great. But yeah, so much criticism I have for Microsoft as a gamer or whatever, but framing this around where she's from or who she is obviously not the move. Someone said, how do these channels still exist in 2026? Dog, I'm tired. Well, actually, the answer is because YouTube doesn't do anything about them. It's infuriating. That is as simple as answer to your question, because it's beneficial. Even an absolutely irrelevant channel like this still serves some, and when I say irrelevant, I mean to the actual cultural conversation. No one actually really believes that these things are real except just the niche people watching this video. And yet, because it serves any value to YouTube at all, you're still going to wind up running ads on this content and making YouTube money. So no, they're never going to do anything about this. They don't care. It is not beneficial to them to care about it, I guess. I want to see if I would get an ad if I open this in incognito. Okay. Oh, there you go. I hope that answers your question. Because I opened the video just to see if I would get an ad on this racist video, and the answer is yes. So that's why these channels still exist, because they still make money for YouTube. Sad. Someone said they also don't do anything about cyberbullying. Yeah, no, it's don't get me started, or we will really be here all day. But yeah, anything else to say about Smash JT? I certainly have nothing else. Someone said not it being monetized. Yeah, no, it's bad. Someone said North Carolina sports fans. Yeah, wait, I don't even know what this ad is for. I am in North Carolina.
Sports fans already know. Lenovo adds a new dimension to the game.
Okay. Shout out Lenovo, I guess.
By billions. Lenovo is proud to serve as the official technology
partner for FIFA.
Partner for the FIFA World Cup 26 and Women's World Cup 2027. 48 teams.
Okay. Ads are so funny. Ads are so funny. I say this as somebody who makes ads. I create them. And they're still so funny, honestly. Oh, speaking of that, we got another sponsor. Which I'm really happy about. But yeah, no, like ads are so funny. Someone said Lenovo goes hard on AI. Do they? Oh, that sounds cringe to me. Lenovo AI. AI for all? There's no way that is y'all's slogan. Oh, man. Lenovo AI now, artificial intelligence, AI ready infrastructure. Okay, great. So I pressed the wrong button. It was literally just another AI ad. Okay, fantastic. That's great. That's great. Someone said it's a Hindu symbol, I think. Yeah, okay, anyways, if I got anything wrong about my discussion about that, I apologize, but yeah, regardless, broski, no. Someone said you create ads. What? Yes, I create ads. That's what the sponsorship is. It's an advertisement. I do so unabashedly. I love an FTC disclosure. Also, not specifically referring to the people I'm working with right now, but I have to push back a lot on companies because they will try to get you to make your ad not seem like an ad. Well, if you think back to any time I've ever promoted anything on a video, notice I always start off by saying the same phrase. But first, let's talk about today's sponsor. Insert the sponsor. Also, a lot of times, if I remember to do so, I will even put a pre-roll in the beginning of the ad or the beginning of the entire video. I'll say today's video is sponsored by insert the sponsor, and then I'll move on, and then we do the actual integration later in the video. But like, what I'm having to do right now, which is so annoying, is like go back and forth with companies because they will send me talking points and be like, yeah, we want you to start talking about the product before you do an ad disclosure. And I'm like, you want me to do what? I'm literally talking about reading the actual verbiage where it's like, okay, I'm going to make up a product. Let's say we're talking about tape measures. Why is there a tape measure on my desk? Who cares? And they're like, yeah, we want you. Oh, I think that was from when I measured like my wingspan the other day. They were like, we want you to do an ad for our tape measures, but before you start saying today's video is sponsored by Blue Ridge Tools, we want you to start ranting and rambling about like how much you love tape measures. So if we're on a chat and I'm just like, speaking of like all of this chat, I want speaking of all the nonsense, we had 5 different topics in this video. It was almost too much to keep track of, too much to measure. And speaking of measurements, recently I've been running into issues where we're doing a lot of home renovation projects. This isn't true, by the way. I live in an apartment. I would get in massive trouble if I did home renovation. But they ask you to make up a story. They're like, yeah, we have been doing like all of these home renovation projects and we've needed reliable tools, etc. And then they're like, and that's why I'm glad to talk to you about today's sponsor. It sounds really similar to what I almost always do with my sponsors, which is try to do like a funny segue. So I'll be like, too much garbage to measure in this video. Speaking of measurements, let's talk about tape measures. That's fine. But they literally are asking you to do personal stories now. And I'm so over it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and do a personal anecdote, unless I actually do use the product personally, and just make things up. That way people are less likely to realize that my ad is an ad. So every single ad is going to start off with a disclosure. Later next week, you're going to click into one of my videos and I'm going to say today's video is sponsored by this brand. And then I'm going to say, let's talk about today's sponsor. And then for 60 seconds, I am going to do what I was paid to do, which is promote a product. I really, really hate where ads are going nowadays. And that's also why I don't really have a lot of them. You may notice on this channel because I hate these companies so much, honestly. But yeah, an ad is because I was paid to do that. At the end of the day, it's literally never because I was doing charity work and I just love this product so much. I will verify that the product is fine to the best of my ability. Absolutely. And then I will promote it as I was paid to do. And I will leave it to everybody else to figure that out. I will always make sure things are a scam. I'll show you an example of someone I said no to recently because I literally knew that this was a scam. I knew this was a scam from the moment these people reached out to me and were like, oh, hey, free cash. D'Angelo, do you want to promote free cash? And I was like, do I want to promote free cash? Your very brand name sounds like a scam. And I said no to this a while ago, and I just waited. I was like, we could literally just start a timer right here and wait until FreeCash gets exposed as some sort of crazy scam. And what do you know? 2 days ago, like clockwork, TechCrunch, how the rewards app FreeCash scammed its way to the top of the app stores. I really hate the kinds of people that are trying to do. I say I don't usually use the word hate. I hate the kinds of people who are trying to do ads nowadays of just using YouTube as like a soft little scheme to like rope people into things that are going to make this company a bunch of money before getting exposed as a scam. So I'm always trying to look out for that, honestly, to the best of my ability. But yeah, no, beyond that, like, obviously, dude. Someone says, I've used it and gotten paid. A lot of people have used FreeCash and gotten paid. It's what I saw when I looked into this. But also a lot of people have used this and not gotten paid. And a lot of FreeCash's, a lot of the ads that they were going to ask people to do, were misleading people into knowing or into thinking that they were going to make X amount of money and they weren't, or misleading people into thinking they were going to get payouts and they weren't. Even if the product itself works, if I still have to lie about it in your ad read or be really misleading, there's truly no reason to promote this, honestly. Someone said Honey was so bad. Yeah, no, Honey was so bad, even though sadly I did promote that one, mostly because like Honey, a large part of their scam was with creators as well, of like they were kind of getting ripped off, which was really whack. But yeah, no, I'm so like I'm more paranoid about this, honestly, than I have been, because I just obviously I don't want the smoke of promoting something like this, and then later it's like, didn't D'Angelo do that FreeCash promo? And it's like, yeah, I sure did. And I can't come on camera and be like, oh yeah, well, I don't know, guys, I thought that FreeCash was a valid product. No, I didn't. So that's honestly what I'm doing, dog. I can't do this. Someone said, I trust none of these types of services. Yeah, no, like you really no, honestly. But hey, I do what I can. Like, for example, the sponsor that I'm doing next is one that I've already promoted back, honestly, like I think in 2023. And if I'm not mistaken, I also promoted them in 2021. And the funny thing is, they made me obviously install the app with the very first time looking into this. And I've honestly had an account with these people ever since. It really does work. It does do what it's supposed to. So later when you hear me say like, oh, this product can help you with this thing, it's because I know that this is the case. I know generally these products will at least do what they say on the tin. But yeah, wanting people to feel like they're getting free money. Oh, I just realized I forgot to record an outro. Wait, chat. Everybody say bye to YouTube. Say bye to YouTube and let me drink. Someone said getting a VPN ad me thinks. Not this time. I don't want to say, just on the off chance that it goes wrong. But essentially, it's just like, you'll see when the ad goes live. Let me drink some water. Never enough water. Someone said, I don't trust anything anyone's trying to sell me on the internet at this point. Honestly, you shouldn't. To be honest, do your own research. All right. Anyways, welcome to my first ever, or not welcome, it's over. Thank you for somehow sitting through my first ever insert the name of this new format where I just rant about multiple people because individually none of them is actually interesting enough to warrant a full video. I hope you got something out of it. I just needed to scream. And this is how I did that. But yeah, I recorded this video live right here on YouTube where I stream quite frequently Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Unless, of course, I don't, in which case I'm probably just, I don't know, chilling with my billionaire spouse. But yeah, hopefully I see you in the next video or the next stream. And if not, it doesn't matter at all. Okay, bye. All right, cringe. All right, stay here. We ain't done, chat. Stop recording. Oh, we are done. Almost. It's so late. I didn't realize I was so late, honestly. That's wild. Someone said grab bag rant video. This was absolutely a grab bag rant video. And it was glorious. If you ask me, I had a lot of fun with that. All right. Anyways, we can stop saying bye. Chat. Someone said, D'Angelo, don't marry billionaire. Okay, I'll try not to. They're all so obsessed with me. Chat. I think they finally left. We had to mute the Katy Perry stand on 3 different accounts. Over 3 hours. Someone said the multiple Katy cats. I think that was the same person, chat. I think that was the same person. Somebody used 3 different YouTube accounts to come in this stream and I guess troll us over me talking about Katy Perry in the video yesterday. Y'all got me messed up. Y'all genuinely got me messed up. And someone said 3, I only noticed 2. I was sneaky. I actually got rid of 1. I actually got rid of one of them. I did some sneaky mod work because I was just like, I'm tired of this. There's no way that over the course of 4 hours, I've been live for 3 hours and 45 minutes. Over the course of 3.5 hours, you were just finding various ways to get back in my live stream and cape for Katy Perry. Catherine Hudson. There's no way. Someone said, how did I miss that each time? Just be glad you missed it, dog. There was no points there. There was nothing to get. Oh my gosh. Someone said this must be why I got muted for 30 minutes because I said nothing wrong, but my name is right next to it. If you have accidentally been a victim of overzealous moderation, I do apologize. I will say, me making an excuse for wrongdoing, it does happen. If you got muted and it wasn't you, sorry for that. But I'm an overcorrector for sure. I think it keeps things spicy. But don't worry, you were unmuted in my heart. I swear you were unmuted in my heart. So I'm saying over Katy Perry, like Jesus. Yeah, no. So I'm glad I didn't see any of that. Yeah, I'm glad. Someone said Katy Perry's the president though. Yeah, I think that's why they were mad because I said that in my last video, but it is what it is. So I ain't mad. Okay, thank you for understanding. Oh gosh, I really appreciate it. But yeah, overall, like I love my moderation. I love pretty much the way that these streams go, or like the vibe in here where I can talk about things without being worried about, I don't know, cringe. It's all like cringe online chat. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think that this channel is also pretty cringe. I think the things that I do online are like deeply cringe in a way that cannot be understated. Like, this is hilarious that we do this, but I prefer it to, dare I say, racist cringe, misogynist cringe, transphobic cringe, xenophobic cringe that is actually harmful and ugly and normalizing behaviors that harm others. I prefer cringe of like, let's all get really hype over celebrity entertainment news, or listen to me rant about music, or let's Photoshop my eyebrows on the live stream to see if I would look good with bleached brows. And I did. That was all very cringe, but in a way that I think is much better for the internet wholesale than any of the aforementioned outlets. So that's just my opinion. Someone said nothing is cringe, bro. Everything is cringe. That's the thing. I agree with you that nothing is cringe, but it's because everything is cringe. All of it is cringe. Here, I'm going to give you some examples of things that are cringe. This came up recently. Weddings. Getting married at all is cringe. Look at this. Okay, there we go. Look at these two happy people. They look so beautiful and happy. This is cringe. Now, those are definitely models. That's not a real wedding. Let me tell you what else. Single person. Being single is cringe. Having self-love, honestly, like this guy looks pretty happy. Look at him. That's super cringe. Oh, I have one. Children. Children are cringe. The existence of children is cringe. Also, having been a child at any point, very cringe. I'm gonna be honest with you. Here's another one. Adults. This is a television show. Adult people. Oh, here we go. absolute and utter cringe. There's nothing more cringe than being an adult in this world, honestly. Oh, I know. Men. This is oh, wow. What we're getting some interesting results here. This is cringe. This is absolutely cringe. Being a man is not okay in 2026. Pass the word. I'm going to be honest. I have to say, this has to be some kind of hate crime. I don't know. Okay. There are... There's no way that I just Googled women and the first result was Sydney Sweeney. And I know that these results are popularized, or not popularized. I know that they're personalized, which is why when I Googled men, I got men's underwear because I wear men's underwear. And when I Googled women, I got Sydney Sweeney because we talk about her a lot. That has to... I deserve damages for getting jump scared by Sydney Sweeney. But what I was trying to say is, yes, even being a woman is also cringe in its own special, beautiful way. But being Sydney Sweeney is cringe on a level that has nothing to do with being a woman. That's just a bad choice that you made. But yeah, oh my God, dude. There's no way. Free me. If I was to Google this in a blank tab, do we get Sydney Sweeney just by Googling women? Oh my God, no, that's so bad. Chat, do we got any women in chat? We got any women in chat right now? New woman representation just dropped. New representation just dropped. I'm proud to announce that Sydney Sweeney is now the first and only woman and the representative for all women. So this is what Google seems to think anyway. I guess because somebody wrote an article called Why the World is Obsessed with White Women, which I don't even want to unpack. But yeah, good news to all the women out there. I hope you enjoy your new spokesperson, Sydney Sweeney. Someone said, not my woman. Help us. Women in chat. Someone said, angry woman in chat. Okay, fine. I de-elect Sydney as the woman representative. You don't have to accept that just because she came up first when I Googled that. That is wild. Someone said, not claiming I'm a woman anymore. Oh, that's such a mess. Okay, with that, chat, I leave you. Thank you so much for joining. What a stream. Me even being able to get a video out of this tomorrow is going to be a magic trick. But I have been known to perform those on occasion. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking, and bye. Okay. Stop streaming.